the impeccable credibility, professionalism, and business savviness of BusinessDay. If you really mean business in Nigeria, start your day with BusinessDay.
BusinessDay is West Africa's leading provider of business intelligence and information, delivering premium content across diversified media platforms, including online, mobile, and print. Since its inception in 2001 with a weekly newspaper production, BusinessDay has expanded its reach to provide exclusive content accessible through print, mobile, and online channels. At BusinessDay, our mission is clear: to be the foremost provider of business and financial content, empowering readers to make informed decisions in Nigeria and Africa. Since our establishment, we have been committed to delivering insightful, relevant, and accurate information about Nigeria's business and finance environment, while contextualizing the impact of global events. We monitor the stock market, analyze the companies driving it, and report on government policies and their economic implications. From decoding market trends to dissecting economic shifts, we offer actionable investment ideas and serve as a compass for decision-makers navigating complexity. Beyond headlines, BusinessDay fosters discussions on critical economic issues through impactful conferences and events. These platforms bring industry leaders together to share narratives that drive innovation and spark meaningful dialogues. Our events galvanize connections, bridging the gap between inspiration and achievement. For businesses seeking visibility, our strong digital presence offers unparalleled opportunities, with millions of followers across social media and a dynamic website attracting visitors from within and outside Nigeria. BusinessDay is the ideal platform to boost visibility for your products and services. If you're looking for in-depth analysis and expert opinions on Nigeria and Africa's business landscape, BusinessDay is your guide.
For 25 years, BusinessDay has delivered credible journalism, intelligent analysis, and decision-shaping insights to Nigeria and Africa's business community. Introducing Africa's first AI-integrated website, enhanced with powerful new capabilities. At the heart of the new platform is the AI-enabled chatbot, built to help you navigate stories faster, ask questions, get summaries, and access deeper context instantly. Text-to-speech functionality, allowing you to listen to articles on the go.
The Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos, has recorded an 11.8% growth in air traffic.
Whether you're commuting, driving, or multitasking, BusinessDay now moves with you. And with our new language translation feature, our journalism becomes even more accessible. You can select your preferred language, thereby expanding reach across diverse audiences in Nigeria, Africa, and beyond. This innovation reinforces our commitment to being not just a news platform, but also a smart, accessible, and future-ready business intelligence hub. As we celebrate 25 years of impact, we step confidently into the future, powered by technology, driven by credibility, and focused on you. Visit the new BusinessDay website today and experience the future of news.
This is Business Week, a weekly program brought to you by BusinessDay Television.
And we're live from Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, bringing you the latest insight into the stories that matter for business and the economy. I am Deborah Eze.
Onyeka Valentine.
I am Destiny Momo.
My name is Elizabeth Musef.
When you think of business, think no more, think Business Day.
I know that Business Day television will go places. It is the next big thing that will happen to the Nigerian media sector without a shred of doubt.
Looking for fast and reliable answers to your business and economic questions? Meet SIA, Business Day's Strategic Intelligence Assistant, Nigeria's first AI-powered news chatbot. Simply visit businessday.ng, click the SIA chat icon, and ask your question in plain language. Whether it's inflation, market trends, company insights, government policies, or personal finance, SIA delivers instant answers powered by Business Day's trusted journalism. Smarter insights, faster decisions. Visit businessday.ng today and discover the future of business intelligence with SIA.
At Providus Bank, we're committed to your growth and success. You're never alone on the journey. Our personalized relationship banking is how we do things together. It's what sets us apart. We value every individual and partnership and treat them as such. We're committed to helping you grow and celebrating your success. This is your life story, your future, your forward. This is all about you. Let's move you forward. Providus Bank. At Providus.
Nigeria, a land of boundless energy, driven by the pulse of over 200 million dreams. At the heart of this momentum stands a giant, Seplat Energy, an indigenous powerhouse accounting for a vital share of Nigeria's oil and gas output, propelled by the historic acquisition milestone with the acquisition of ExxonMobil's onshore and shallow water assets, significantly expanding its production capacity and marking its entry into offshore operations. We are the engine of prosperity, Nigeria's leading domestic gas supplier with a total gas production output of 2.7 billion cubic feet, and the landmark Ano gas project delivering first gas. We have elevated our total processed gas output to 855 million standard cubic feet per day onshore. Indeed, we have brought domestic gas utilization to new heights, powering industries and securing energy for millions. But we are not just growing production, we're growing responsibly. By ending routine flares, we are decarbonizing our operations today to protect the Nigeria of tomorrow. Our reach is expanding. From offshore gas distribution to the growth of CNG for transport and industry, we are deepening our presence across the entire value chain. Our impact reaches the grassroots. Through innovative mini-grid projects, we are bringing clean, reliable energy to local communities, fueling economic empowerment where it's needed most. We are more than an energy company. We are a partner in progress, a leader in the energy transition, a giant rooted in Nigeria for Nigeria. Seplat Energy, leading Nigeria's energy transition, powering.
Hello and welcome to the Business Morning Live News right here on Business Day Television. My name is Elizabeth Musa. Let's see what's making the headlines on a Friday. NICOM clears final 7 insurers ends recapitalization exercise. Tinubu signs Port Economic Regulator Bill into law. Federal government pushes Startup Act implementation to unlock funding and tax benefits. And Osun APC alleged 40 members killed as election violence escalates. Now let's begin the news as the National Insurance Commission, NICOM, has cleared the final 7 insurance companies that met the minimum capital requirement under the Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025, effectively bringing the sector's year-long recapitalization exercise to a close. The newly verified firms are Ample General Insurance, Ample Life Insurance, Assurance, Sovereign Trust Insurance, Tangerine Life Insurance, Alliance and General Insurance, Guinea Insurance, and Regency Alliance Insurance. 4 of the 7 are non-life insurers, while 3 operate in the life insurance segment. With the latest approvals, 50 firms, 48 insurance companies, and 2 reinsurance companies have now confirmed compliance with the new capital requirement. The exercise launch following the enactment of NERA 2025 is aimed at strengthening insurance financial capacity and improving their ability to underwrite larger risks. NICOM says the completed recapitalization marks a new phase for the industry with stronger capitalization and greater resilience. And moving on, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has assented to legislation establishing the Nigerian Port Economic Regulatory Agency, giving Nigeria's port economic regulation a dedicated statutory framework after more than a decade of attempts. The development was announced by Pius Akuta, the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Shippers Council, following the President's assent to the legislation on Thursday. The new agency is expected to take over the economic regulatory functions currently performed by the Nigerian Shippers Council, which has served as the interim port economic regulator since 2014 following the federal government's port concession program. The legislation is expected to reshape the regulatory structure of Nigeria's ports with the aim of providing a clearer statutory framework for economic regulation and addressing long-standing concerns around port charges, competition, and regulatory oversight. And in other news, the federal government is moving to translate the Nigeria Startup Act from a legal framework into practical benefits for founders, including access to funding, tax incentives, regulatory support, and export opportunities. The National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, says more than 15 government institutions must work together to deliver the incentives contained in the Act and remove institutional bottlenecks facing startups. The law, signed in October 2022, provides more than 31 incentives across 6 areas, including tax and fiscal support, funding, regulatory assistance, export and trade, ecosystem development, and training. NITDA says the focus is now on making these incentives accessible to eligible businesses through simpler application processes, clearer institutional responsibilities, and better coordination with the broader goal of helping Nigerian startups attract investment, scale faster, and compete in global market. Now, to end the news, the Osun State chapter of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has alleged that about 40 of its members have been killed in election-related violence ahead of Saturday's governorship election. The party also condemned fresh attacks in SLK and Atakumasa East, where it said several APC members were shot. The party reported that Ayegbo Oladale, nephew of its campaign council director, General Oluwole Oke, was killed in an attack in SLK, while another victim, Taiwo Oluwadele, remained in critical condition. The APC further alleged that 4 members were attacked in Atakumasa East on Thursday morning, with 1 sustaining severe injuries. The party said the incidents were part of a wider pattern of attacks targeting its members and supporters ahead of the poll. The state police spokesperson Abiodun Ojelabi confirmed the latest attack, while the APC called on security agencies to urgently protect voters and party supporters. The allegations come amid heightened concerns over election violence, with other reports documenting multiple killings and violent incidents across Osun ahead of Saturday's election. Well, that does it this morning on the Business Morning Live News. Up next is a newspaper review. Do stay with us.
Nigeria, a land of boundless energy, driven by the pulse of over 200 million dreams. At the heart of this momentum stands a giant, Seplat Energy, an indigenous powerhouse accounting for a vital share of Nigeria's oil and gas output, propelled by the historic acquisition milestone with the acquisition of ExxonMobil's onshore and shallow water assets, significantly expanding its production capacity and marking its entry into offshore operations. We are the engine of prosperity. Nigeria's leading domestic gas supplier with a total gas production output of 2.7 billion cubic feet, and the landmark Ano gas project delivering first gas, we have elevated our total processed gas output to 855 million standard cubic feet per day onshore. Indeed, we have brought domestic gas utilization to new heights, powering industries and securing energy for millions. But we are not just growing production, we're growing responsibly. By ending routine flares, we are decarbonizing our operations today to protect the Nigeria of tomorrow. Our reach is expanding. From offshore gas distribution to the growth of CNG for transport and industry, we are deepening our presence across the entire value chain. Our impact reaches the grassroots. Through innovative mini-grid projects, we are bringing clean, reliable energy to local communities, fueling economic empowerment where it's needed most. We are more than an energy company. We are a partner in progress, a leader in the energy transition, a giant rooted in Nigeria for Nigeria. Seplat Energy, leading Nigeria's energy transition, powering the future.
People say time flies when you're enjoying yourself, and I think that's the story of Business Day. 25 years ago, Frank set out to build something Nigeria did not yet have in full measure. A newspaper that's dedicated entirely to the seriousness of business, economics, policy, and all those things that drive society. It's all the dimensions that you can imagine. And that was not a small ambition, and it meant betting that Nigeria wanted depth over noise, which I think we do, certainly business people, analysis over sensation, and credibility over convenience. A quarter of a century later, that bet has paid off many, many times over. I think it's fair to say Business Day has become required reading for boardrooms, policymakers, investors, and anyone serious about understanding where the Nigerian economy is headed at any point in time. And what strikes me most, sitting in a privileged position as a member of the editorial board, is the consistency of the paper's character. Business Day has never chased the easy headline, and we debate this. It has stayed true to its founding instinct, that is, good journalism in the business and economic space, realizing that economic space must be rigorously interviewed. It must be independent and unafraid to hold power and capital accountable in equal measure without fear or favor. Now, that is a difficult balance to strike in any media environment, and even a lot harder to sustain for 25 years in the Nigeria of today. So I think that consistency is in large part a reflection of Frank himself. His discipline, his insistence on standards, and his quiet but firm belief that institutions outlast individuals when they're built properly. And certainly he's built an institution. And Frank didn't simply start a newspaper. I think he's built an institution with that paper, and one that has culture and a value system that has endured leadership transitions, economic cycles, and the disruption of the entire industry by the digital media, which in itself Frank has embraced. So I think we are celebrating his anniversary. We celebrate Frank, we celebrate Business Day, and not just 25 years of publishing, but 25 years of integrity in a profession that badly needs it in this country. So I think, Frank, it's fair to say congratulations to you and your team. We're extremely proud of you. Like I said, I feel extremely privileged to be part of the editorial board with all the debates and discussions and the many MBA sessions we have where we do meet. But once again, thank you for what you've done. Thank you for what you're doing. Congratulations to Business Day, and we look forward to another 25 years in resplendent pleasure of doing the right thing in society for society's benefit. Congratulations, Frank. Congratulations, Business Day.
My name is Pastor Kari Bedenia, the Senior Pastor of Life Restoration. I first came across Business Day in the early year 2000 at Amuwodofi along Festac Link Road. I knew about Business Day through Mr. Frank Aigugu, who is the publisher. Actually, Business Day became a voice in Nigeria through the provision of reliable business and financial information across Nigeria and some African countries. This is so because Business Day was established on a solid foundation which has helped the organization to stand immovable and well-rooted till today. Like many other media companies in Nigeria, Business Day went through some challenging moments at the early stage, but in all of it, God Almighty helped Business Day to sail through and became victorious and also so strong as we see today. And as a result, we can also, rejoice and sing songs of praise to the living God. And we know this is all the glories we have to go to God for sustaining Business Day. I also remember that I used to share the word of God with prayer. With prayers together with all the members of staff of Business Days in those days. And through which I believe so strongly that this must have contributed one way or the other to the strong faith and the power of God, especially the ability of God to sustain Business Day. Until today, God Almighty has been so faithful. Praise the Lord. And my prayer today for Business Day is that God Almighty will make Business Day to move forward, grow great, and become an outstanding force to be reckoned with in Nigeria, in Africa, and even the world, at large. In Jesus' mighty name, I also pray for Mr. Frank Aigugu for divine wisdom to be able to lead, all the staff, and also to make sure that the work, progresses. And I also pray for every member of staff that God Almighty is going to strengthen you. God will pour His grace upon your life in Jesus' mighty name. And all your labor will never be in vain in Jesus' mighty name. And I pray that God Almighty will abundantly bless every one of you that are working in Business Day today, beginning from Mr. Frank Aigugu down the line. And I pray that God Almighty will make all you've done to be highly rewarded in Jesus' mighty name. I pray once again that God Almighty will enlarge Business Day and will make it a voice to be reckoned with in Nigeria, in Africa, and also the entire world. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Wow, 25 years Business Day. For any business, first of all, to have succeeded in Nigeria for 25 years. I bow my hat. Kudos to you. Business Day. I think when you're talking about professional journalism, you're thinking Business Day. When you're talking quality of content, you're talking Business Day. When you're talking quality of pictures, you're talking Business Day. When you're talking about editors that know their onions inside out, you're talking Business Day. When you're talking of a publisher who ensures the company has continued to go on and change throughout the season to keep revamping himself, we're talking Mr. Frank. Congratulations, Business Day, on 25 years. It couldn't have been easy, but I've seen the paper transform. People always say, why do I recommend Business Day when I'm doing stuff to them, my clients? And I say because they are professionals, they have good reporters. In working with Business Day, working with like a Depot, for example, on the oil and gas desk, I know he's a true professional. He knows his onions. He knows his sector inside out. So I'm always happy to recommend Business Day and work with them all the time. The other thing is that it's not just about the newspaper itself, it's the forums that they've created over the years. They've continued to reinvent themselves, and those forums they have, sector forums, are impacting people within the industry because it's a solid thought leadership forum that people are always wanting to go to and always wanting to learn. And the forums are even for the youth, for people, managers, for leadership, oil and gas sector, CEO forums, infrastructure. There's so many, and those forums are just really, really useful in this day and age to listen to experts talk about the different things. So kudos to you on that Business Day. Personally, I'd like to thank you for the support Business Day has given me throughout my career. Believe it or not, I have been working with Business Day for the last 25 years since they existed. So thank you for all your support whilst I was in Owando. Thank you all for your support while I was in Hill and Milton. And thank you all for your support when I started my own agency, Scott Communications. I just really admire the leadership. I admire the successes you've made. I value your paper tremendously. And all I need to say is keep doing the good work. Keep exceeding expectations in everything that you do. And to your editors, to your reporters, to your journalists, keep up the good work. You guys are doing excellent work in this industry. And I can't wait to see the transformation and the new things that you will come up with in the next 25 years. One thing, rest assured, we, my organization, Scott Communications, will always be there to support you. Have a brilliant 25th year anniversary.
Greetings from the FIFA World Cup in Atlanta, Georgia. Congratulations to Frank and the team. A Business Day for 25 amazing years. It's been wonderful to be on the advisory board, and I look forward to a lot more service as we address the economic issues of the day in Nigeria and West Africa. Congratulations.
Okay. Congratulations to you, Business Day, on your 25th anniversary. On behalf of Forbes Mazar, I celebrate you on this remarkable milestone, and thank you for the valuable partnership that we have shared over the years. 25 years is a great fit. You've been a trusted voice in business journalism. You've been shaping conversations, and we are definitely proud of all that you have achieved, all that you have accomplished, and we're looking forward to even more shared success with you.
This is Business Week, a weekly program brought to you by Business Day Television.
And we're live from Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, bringing you the latest insight into the stories that matter for business and the economy. I am Deborah Eze.
Onyeka Valentine.
I am Destiny Momo.
My name is Elizabeth Moses.
When you think of business, think no more, think Business Day.
I know that Business Day Television will go places. It is the next big thing that will happen to the Nigerian media sector without a shade of doubt.
Watching Business Morning live right here on Business Day Television, and it's been such a great show. But now it's time for us to see what we have on the front page of the national dailies this morning. As always, I don't do it by myself. I'm joined this morning by Mr. Joshua Bassi, editorial director here at Business Day Television. Welcome and happy Friday, Mr. Bassi.
Thank you, Lizzie. Good morning.
It's good to see you on a Friday.
Happy weekend this year. So yeah, happy weekend in advance.
Happy weekend. But I'm going to ask you, Mr. Bassi, you know, on Monday I asked you what your expectations for the week was. I think you said you wanted a week that
that will be able to achieve a goal that we set for ourselves.
The goal you set for yourself. So I was going to ask you, checking in today, were you able to achieve
the goal we were able to. One of the goals was to attract big guests to our shows, and I think that we've done that this year to a very large extent. You know, some of the big people in the business world. They've come here this week to talk to us on various topics and various economic issues across sectors of the economy. So I would say, yeah, to some extent we were able to do that, we were able to achieve that, and we look forward to something even bigger next year by the grace of God.
Yeah. You said next year or next
sorry,
week?
Next week rather. Next week.
You're already looking at, you're already seeing the future.
Next week, but
right.
But you are going to
on a leave.
Start your leave.
Yes.
Well, we'll be missing you for
fun.
a while, but of course,
yeah,
it's for good. You need to rest.
Certainly, and the show will definitely go.
Yeah, go.
But let's see what we have on the front page of the Business Day newspaper this morning. As always, we like to start at home. Let's see what we have on the front page this morning on the papers. We start off with the one that says CBN reopens OMO to retail investors for first time in 7 years as election spending threatens inflation. That's on the front page of Business Day this morning. And on the left-hand side, it says Osun's voter turnout has fallen in 3 straight years. Violence threatens a fourth. That is, if the violence continues, they might have worse voter turnout this year. That's how the front page is looking on the Business Day paper. Simple, just a very simple spread. And on the top side, just slightly below the 25 years of shaping impactful decisions, we say inflation seen easing further to 15.51% in July. That's on page 30. And news on page 31 says NICOM's final insurer list leaves 6 firms out. NICOM's final insurer list leaves 6 firms out. And Peter Okoye's clothing line lands 60 million naira as P Square feud reignite. Right, that's the business side of bad publicity of a family feud. But I think we should start with the middle story. That's the big story, which talks about TBN reopening OMO to retail investors for the first time in 7 years as election spending threatens inflation. It also says banks, SLF and SDF in 5 years, January to July, trillion naira. So you see July 26, July 25, July 24, July 23, July 22, and this is a CBN source graph that we see on this front page.
Okay, so very interesting story. Somehow a business story, but linked to politics. If you look at the the lead story on the front page of businesses today. And of course, you are going to also see that all major national dailies, their focus is also on the Osun election, which is coming up tomorrow. So that seems the biggest thing that's going to happen this week. The Osun election. But again, looking at what this business has done with the front page lead is talking about the CBN effort to mop up excess liquidity ahead of the 2027 election. That should be expected. Open market operation, OMO, we call it OMO, is an instrument that the CBN uses to somehow regulate inflation regulate inflation by ensuring that we don't have excess liquidity in the economy. And of course, tying it to the election, that during election, so much money, is circulated, because politicians bring a lot of money, because there will be printing of freebies. There will be, whether you're talking of face cap, talking of a T-shirt, talking of printing of papers, banners, and all of that. So there's so much money that will eventually get into circulation. So just to ensure that this does not lead to inflation, just SBN is reintroducing OMO to see how a short-term investment instrument where people can actually bring that money, buy into it, and then so CBN is able to mop up that excess liquidity just to ensure that it doesn't lead to inflation. But this time around, it's not only just opening it to a financial institution, but it has also gone further to allow non-financial institution to also invest, which is what CBN has done. So it's a good one because, of course, one of the main functions of the CBN is to make sure that is to regulate the economy and then to ensure that inflation does not go overboard. And so that's what the story on the front page of Business Day is all about. So I would say, well, kudos, because if they don't do this, we might run into a situation where we have too much money in circulation, and of course people begin to just buy and buy and buy, and all of that could lead to inflation. So CBN here is basically doing what it's expected to do. I would say it's a good step by the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Right. Let's also talk about Osun's voter turnout, which has fallen in 3 straight years, and the balance that we're seeing threatening a fourth one. This is ahead of the election. We're going to be seeing a lot more of a lot of news around the election. Everything now sort of is moving along the election lines, right? So is this a story that you've been following, Mr. Bassi?
Yes, I've been following showing election, but the one that Business has done this morning is just to show you that in the last last 3 election years, 2019, 2023, 2015, 2019, 2023, we've seen a reduction in the number of people, that are voters, that are, stepping out to vote in election in Osun. So it tells you there's some level of voter apathy. And but apart from that, there's also the issue of violence, which of course we're going to talk about that, because the other headline that would actually talk about the level of preparation for Osun election, which is coming tomorrow, and all of the things that have happened so far. But voter apathy, the lack of confidence in the system, in the voting system, whether you are talking about what INEC is doing, whether you are talking about maybe even what the government of Osun may have done. I mean, because sometimes people are also like, you haven't done enough. I mean, what you sometimes we give you a vote. Maybe we look forward to seeing some improvement in the economy, some improvement in infrastructure, and all of that. We haven't seen much. So the next election, people might not just, be too willing to come out and vote. Also, we've seen a reduction in the number of people that have come out to. This year, which is the one that is coming up tomorrow, out of about 2.3 million registered voters. I mean, what those who have collected their PVCs, for instance, for the one that is coming up tomorrow, about 1.9. So a further reduction. So, like I said, when we get to other headlines, we'll talk more about the Osun election. But of course, the reduction in the number of voters speaks to apathy and people's unwillingness, and maybe a lack of confidence in the system. Sometimes people feel that if you go out and cast your vote, are you sure that your vote will really count? So those are some of the factors that is responsible for this reduction, continued reduction in the number of voters that we have seen in Osun State. And the other major one really is violent fear, that if I go out to vote, am I sure I'm going to come back, the same way I went out to vote. So that's part of what we are seeing in Osun State.
Right. Do we move to the next paper, or you want to speak on the Peter Okoye clothing line landing 60 million? I mean, 60 million is based on the fact that he has had over 3,000 people purchasing the cap he wore when they were
together as P Square, right?
The cap he wore when he was ranting. The videos he did this week that made him trend in the news. So it was in the news this week, and where he was analyzing all of the things that have happened with his brothers and the business and all of that. So he wore the cap, which is his brand, is his own personal label. So obviously, just in solidarity to him and just in support, many Nigerians went to the website to purchase the cap, which has led us to over 3,000 people buying, and I think the cap is about 20,000 naira or something. So that leads us to 60 million, over 60 million naira worth of sales in the past week where it trended. So that's the positive, in quotes, I put that in quotes.
Positive side of crisis.
Positive side of a bad publicity, because I see that as a bad publicity where
it's also because we've been having this disagreement between himself and his brother Paul.
Yeah.
With the other one in the mix, the senior brother. Jude, right?
The senior brother is the major. That's the major culprit.
Yeah.
That's the major person that Peter has the growls against, not necessarily Paul, because he believes that it's the elder brother that is fueling his other twins' actions. So it's just a lot of things. So but
I would say good luck to him. He's making money. But unfortunately, I always tell myself, of course, like I told before we come live, I mean, why are you, and this for me, I'm speaking for myself, why are you disturbing me with your family's crisis? I mean, we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to contend with in this country already. So please keep your family.
That's for you. Nigerians are enjoying the drama. Nigerians look for any form of entertainment.
Allow Nigerians to live their life. You can't settle your family issue. I mean, that's my personal opinion. Anyway. That's my personal opinion. If you can't settle your family matter, please leave. Allow Nigerians to rest and face their own crisis. Everybody has, one thing or the other disturbing him. So I don't need to throw your own on people's faces. But again, it's an entertainment thing. So.
All right. That's showbiz for you. Now let's move on and go to the Guardian paper this morning on page 4 and 5. The big story says, will 1.9 million electorate win? And then you see a picture of APC, also Osun State current sitting governor, Mr. Adeleke, and of others on that front page. And then you see coalition seeks closure of terrorist reintegration program. And on page 6 it says NHRC Action Aid raised concerns over hate speech dispute ahead of 2027 polls. And then on page 7, SEC orders freeze of assets linked to 9 terrorist financiers. Wow. And on the top side, said refineries will work again, make profits. Tinubu pledges amid $2.9 billion rehabilitation. And on page 3, ICPC recovers 24 billion naira from ghost workers, over 900 accounts forfeited. And on page 3, Makinde picks SSS ex-DG Daura as running mate, advocates party alliance. Those are some of our top stories this morning on the Guardian newspaper. But let's talk about Osun 2026. Will 1.9 million electorate win? That's the big question.
That's the big question, Elizabeth. Will 1.9 electorate, as far as Osun's election is concerned, win? Or who will win? Will the electorate win? Will the voters win? Or is it, violence that will win? Or is it, INEC that will, win? Or is it, the candidate? So it's a big question, a very big question that we should ask ourselves. In other words, what would happen tomorrow in Osun State? Will it allow the voters for their votes to count? Because that's what the question is all about. So will people be allowed to freely go and cast their votes? you know, in an atmosphere that there will be no threat to their life, and there will be no threat to their property, you know, because in the build-up to this election in Osun State, which will happen tomorrow, we've seen killings, you know, just like we talked about the other time. I mean, over 30 people have reportedly been killed. In fact, as at yesterday, Wednesday night, someone was said to have also been shot dead in the okay part of Elisha. I mean, also was said to be, you know, related to this election that's going to happen tomorrow. So, I mean, Osun people, it will seem that this election, that Osun is at war and not election, and it shouldn't be so. And so, with the candidates who are involved, with the parties, the political parties who are, you know, presenting candidates for this election, and with the candidate themselves, and all the city, with the people, the 1.9 people who have collected their PVCs, will they win? Are they the ones that will win? Or is it the candidate that will do whatever it is to win? Because if it is the people that will win, it means that you will just allow them to go and cast their votes, and that the vote of the people will count, and that whatever it is that they will do will determine who becomes the next governor of Osun State tomorrow, or maybe by the time the results are out, the results are announced by INEC. So there's a big question, because we've seen so much crisis in this election, the build up to this election, and that this question really should be asked: will the people win? Will the electorate win? Or will violence, the killings that we have seen so far, be the what will determine the way the election will swing? Because if people are not allowed to go and cast their vote freely, and that they are not also given the assurance that their vote will count, then it means that it is not the people that will win. It is not the 1.9 people who have collected their PVCs that will win. Something else will win, and that is not, you know, in interest of democracy. You know, so that's the big question.
It actually always saddens me when you see so much violence during elections. I wonder why elections always come with some violence. It's just crazy. But let's move on now to the Punch paper.
But just before we move to the Punch newspaper, there's this story that the president is talking about, is giving the assurance that the refineries will work again and make profit. But unfortunately, yes, we want to believe what the president has said, and we actually look forward to seeing the refinery. I'm talking about the 4 refineries owned by the federal government of Nigeria. We want to see them work again and they make profit. Just like other refineries elsewhere are doing. That's what we want to see. But what the federal government has not, you know, fully given account of is the money that has been spent on the rehabilitation of Israel. $2.9 billion spent on the rehabilitation of this refinery. That has not been accounted for. Nobody has actually come out to actually explain how this money, you know, was utilized, and why after spending so much that we haven't seen the refineries, you know, come back on stream. So that, in addition to hoping and believe hoping and trusting that the refinery will work again, now you want to see accountability regarding the money that has been spent, the $2.9 billion that has been spent on the refinery. That's what, you know, we want to. I mean, perhaps the president should, you know, let us know. We know that the EFCC they launched some, you know, investigation into, but that investigation, I mean, even the National Assembly hasn't gone anywhere. So we want to see exactly those who were involved, you know, those who were in charge of the refineries, NNPC, you know, at the time all of this money was spent, and they should come forward and give account of how this money was spent. And why, after spending this much, the refineries are still not working.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one. Can we now move on and see what we have on the front page of the Punch papers real quick this morning, because we are running out of time. Now, it says, governorship poll, please lock down Osun, still in Osun State, DIG, 30 CPs deployed. It says, police say 34 illegal guns seized, helicopter, drone unit on surveillance across the state. Army to seal state borders for midnight. Mobile courts ready for offenders. And 1 killed, 2 injured as Tinubu vows peaceful election. INEC urges parties to honor peace accord. Will they honor it? That's a story for another day.
Yeah.
On page 28, it says State Police Bill. Presidency extends public submission to August 21. And in Edo State, Edo records 70 child defilement cases. Fathers stop offenders. That's unfortunate. On page 5 on the front page of the Punch papers. And finally, on the top side of the Punch this morning, it says 27, Makinde picks ex-DSG DG Daura as running mate as he rallies opposition. And on page 5 says Abiodun Daniel trade fresh blows over political allegiance. This is some of the top stories this morning on the front page of the Punch paper.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the Osun State election, so we may not actually, again, begin to talk about that. You can see the number of, police personnel that have been deployed to Osun, just to speak to, this tells you how serious it is. 30 commissioner of police, about 15,000 police personnel, and a DIG, all of that, drone, helicopter, just for one state election. So it is something that is disturbing, really.
Really
but again,
disturbing.
there's a story that I think we can, just before we go, there's a story that we should quickly, is about the state police. Public hearing extended to August 21st. I think that Nigerians should actually go and then make their submission so that we have a perfect state police. So every concern that any Nigerian may have concerning this state police that is coming up, and you go forward and then say what you think can make the state police better, stronger. There are concerns around, governors hijacking state police and then using it to intimidate their opponents, in various states where they will be in charge. There's also concern, all of those things. So how you think that all of those concerns can be addressed? You have opportunity now. I'm talking about Nigeria now. You have opportunity now. The extension has been now made to August 31st to make your input right to the committee, and then so that at the end of the day we have a better state police. And then finally, the Makinde, who is the presidential candidate of APM, one of the political parties that's going to contest election in 2027, has picked the former Director General of DSS as his running mate. Let's see how it goes. We're hearing that the opposition, including, I think Makinde himself was talking about it, are trying to form a formidable front. Coming together, all of them, to see if they can all come together to confront the APC. We believe that. So we see how that will go. But again, it's a good balancing. Makinde is a Christian from the south. Daura is a Muslim from the north. So that's a good balancing, both in terms of region and in terms of religion. Because those are the things that Nigerians also consider when it comes to politics. So we see how that will go. How that will go with for Makinde, and they see how we wish them luck.
Right, and for Osun State, I wish them the best tomorrow as they decide tomorrow. On the front page of the Vanguard, basically that says factors that will decide Adeleke, Oyebamiji, Salam, and others' fate. So as Osun decides tomorrow, we do wish them. My prayer is for peace and tranquility, peaceful elections, and then I wish may the best person win. One story to talk about there, though, is xenophobia. It says no request received yet from South Africa on repatriation costs. That's from the federal government. That's a story to keep an eye on. No request received yet from South Africa on repatriation costs. Xenophobia is never a good thing.
Then why should we pay them for? Why should we pay them at all? I think they should be the ones to pay Nigerians who have lost their means of livelihood, who have lost their shop, who have lost their lives and all of that. I think South Africa shouldn't play smart. Shouldn't play smart here. I mean, they owe to Nigerians a lot of a debt of thanks for what Nigeria did when they were facing apartheid.
Yeah,
it
actually,
contributed, quite significantly. rather than just playing this. They should be the ones to actually compensate Nigerians who have lost their goods and their shops and their lives in South Africa.
Anyway, we keep an eye on that story, but let's move on and see what we have on our cartoon of the day this morning on the Business Day newspaper today. And now we see the cartoon of the day, basically the anti-truth army. And we see two people walking. Who are these people? We see one with, both of them are donning hats, and one has a sword, and then it says, Honorable, I want to start a religious war. The other one says, go ahead, Sheikh. I have declared a political one in Osun State. And then you see two people blindfolded, and they have a flag and a gun. And the flag says Anti-Truth Army, and they're holding someone to ransom. And then the other one says, let me catch anyone else making any hate speech. So basically, these people are against the truth.
No, but this is instructive because in the build-up to this Osun election, we've seen so many. You remember the other man, Senator, is it Francis Fadaunsi? Yeah, who said people should be killed, and then later he denied, saying that he was speaking Yoruba, and then well. But it's important that hate speech should be discouraged. And you recall the other time a cleric, Sonny Yingi, also made what I would also consider hate speech, religious hate speech. We should discourage all of that. We don't need that in our country, and there should be peace here. Given that Nigeria is already, so to say, sitting on a keg of gunpowder, we don't need anybody to inflame it and make it worse than what we have seen. So everybody, everywhere, whether you're a politician, whether you're a religious leader, or whether you are a leader in any of your own sphere of influence, what we should promote is peace, religious tolerance, peaceful coexistence everywhere. That's what Nigeria needs. So that's what this cartoon is just speaking to, those issues.
Right. Well, that's where we leave the cartoon of the day this morning, and also the newspaper review segment. We have more stories coming up next on Business Money Live. Don't go anywhere. Please stay with us.
This is Business Week, a weekly program brought to you by BusinessDay Television.
And we're live from Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, bringing you the latest insight into the stories that matter for business and the economy. I am Deborah Eze.
Onyeka Valentine.
I am Destiny Momo.
My name is Elizabeth Musef.
When you think of business, think no more, think Business Day.
I know that Business Day television will go places. It is the next big thing that will happen to the Nigerian media sector without a shade of doubt.
Every legacy has a beginning. Ours evolved, built on trust and carried forward as a second-generation family legacy. Bemio has grown into Nigeria's largest cash-in-transit provider, trusted where precision and reliability matter most. But we are more than movement. We deliver protection at every level, from professional guarding to journey management to concierge services. And through Bemio Polo, we reflect the identity, heritage, and standards we uphold. This is modern service. This is a legacy in motion. Bemio, your partner to safer living.
Nigeria, a land of boundless energy, driven by the pulse of over 200 million dreams. At the heart of this momentum stands a giant, Seplat Energy, an indigenous powerhouse accounting for a vital share of Nigeria's oil and gas output, propelled by the historic acquisition milestone with the acquisition of ExxonMobil's onshore and shallow water assets, significantly expanding its production capacity and marking its entry into offshore operations. We are the engine of prosperity, Nigeria's leading domestic gas supplier with a total gas production output of 2.7 billion cubic feet, and the landmark Ano gas project delivering first gas. We have elevated our total processed gas output to 855 million standard cubic feet per day onshore. Indeed, we have brought domestic gas utilization to new heights, powering industries and securing energy for millions. But we are not just growing production, we're growing responsibly. By ending routine flares, we are decarbonizing our operations today to protect the Nigeria of tomorrow. Our reach is expanding. From offshore gas distribution to the growth of CNG for transport and industry, we are deepening our presence across the entire value chain. Our impact reaches the grassroots. Through innovative mini-grid projects, we are bringing clean, reliable energy to local communities, fueling economic empowerment where it's needed most. We are more than an energy company. We are a partner in progress, a leader in the energy transition, a giant rooted in Nigeria for Nigeria. Seplat Energy, leading Nigeria's energy transition, powering the future.
Looking for fast and reliable answers to your business and economic questions? Meet SIA, BusinessDay's Strategic Intelligence Assistant, Nigeria's first AI-powered news chatbot. Simply visit businessday.ng, click the SIA chat icon, and ask your question in plain language. Whether it's inflation, market trends, company insights, government policies, or personal finance, SIA delivers instant answers powered by BusinessDay's trusted journalism. Smarter insights, faster decisions. Visit businessday.ng today and discover the future of business intelligence with SIA.
For 25 years, BusinessDay has delivered credible journalism, intelligent analysis, and decision-shaping insights to Nigeria and Africa's business community. Introducing Africa's first AI-integrated website, enhanced with powerful new capabilities. At the heart of the new platform is the AI-enabled chatbot, built to help you navigate stories faster, ask questions, get summaries, and access deeper context instantly. Text-to-speech functionality, allowing you to listen to articles on the go.
The Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos, has recorded an 11.8% growth in air traffic.
Whether you're commuting, driving, or multitasking, BusinessDay now moves with you. And with our new language translation feature, our journalism becomes even more accessible. You can select your preferred language, thereby expanding reach across diverse audiences in Nigeria, Africa, and beyond. This innovation reinforces our commitment to being not just a news platform, but also a smart, accessible, and future-ready business intelligence hub. As we celebrate 25 years of impact, we step confidently into the future, powered by technology, driven by credibility, and focused on you. Visit the new BusinessDay website today and experience the future of news.
I am, of course, a great admirer of the impeccable credibility, professionalism, and business savviness of BusinessDay. If you really mean business in Nigeria, start your day with BusinessDay.
Business Day is West Africa's leading provider of business intelligence and information, delivering premium content across diversified media platforms, including online, mobile, and print. Since its inception in 2001 with a weekly newspaper production, Business Day has expanded its reach to provide exclusive content accessible through print, mobile, and online channels. At Business Day, our mission is clear: to be the foremost provider of business and financial content, empowering readers to make informed decisions in Nigeria and Africa. Since our establishment, we have been committed to delivering insightful, relevant, and accurate information about Nigeria's business and finance environment, while contextualizing the impact of global events. We monitor the stock market, analyze the companies driving it, and report on government policies and their economic implications. From decoding market trends to dissecting economic shifts, we offer actionable investment ideas and serve as a compass for decision-makers navigating complexity. Beyond headlines, Business Day fosters discussions on critical economic issues through impactful conferences and events. These platforms bring industry leaders together to share narratives that drive innovation and spark meaningful dialogues. Our events galvanize connections, bridging the gap between inspiration and achievement. For businesses seeking visibility, our strong digital presence offers unparalleled opportunities, with millions of followers across social media and a dynamic website attracting visitors from within and outside Nigeria. Business Day is the ideal platform to boost visibility for your products and services. If you're looking for in-depth analysis and expert opinions on Nigeria and Africa's business landscape, Business Day is your guide.
Morning live right here on Business Day television. My name is Elizabeth Musa. Nigeria's never really needed an excuse to celebrate. From weddings and birthdays to corporate events, product launches, and major social gatherings, there's a constant demand for experiences that are bigger, better, and increasingly more sophisticated. But behind the glamour is a serious business. There are budgets to manage, vendors to coordinate, clients to satisfy, and expectations that can shift right up until the big day. And as the Nigerian event industry becomes more competitive, the business is also changing. Clients are looking for more than beautiful setups. They want memorable experiences, precision, and value for money. So what does it really take to build a sustainable business around experiences in Nigeria? Well, joining me this morning is Ori Moses. She's the founder and head of event curation at Perfecto Event, and she's an event curator and strategist. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Now, let's start with what I believe many people want to know. When you look at Nigeria's event industry today, what would you say has changed the most about the business of creating experiences?
Well, what has changed in the business of creating experiences is that over the years, when event planning started becoming like a career path for people, thanks to people like you and Akhios and Funke Buckner that brought a bit of light to that space, it was more about planning an event to go well. But now it has evolved into creating experiences for people. There must be a guest journey. People want to feel, people want to remember, people want to share things about an event. People want to talk about the details that they feel about an event they attended. So that's gone beyond just planning, that's gone beyond just organizing an event to go smoothly. It has now evolved into designing experiences. So I think it's not planning events well anymore. It's about designing experiences for people, so that people can talk about it anywhere they go, and people can feel whatever they want to feel, but that event must have a feeling. So I think what we've evolved into is we're trying to get into what they call immersive event experience. So that's where we are. That's the bigger picture. That's where we're headed to, creating design experiences. That's where we are headed to. And let's bring it down to Nigeria. Nigeria is now being intentional. Customers are wanting experiences. Guests are wanting experiences. They don't want to just come to an event and say, oh, the decor was very nice. It's beyond that. They want to talk about how they felt when they arrived, how the hospitality was, how the food was being served, how the drinks were being served. It's not like those days where you can open up a bottle of drink and serve, but now there's a creativity around that now. So people want to have that. We're now having surprises in events. The other elements are bringing all sorts of entertainment into the event space. So stakeholders and clients and guests and even vendors is all coming together. That picture is experience, design experience. So that's
right. But we also see that there's clearly a lot of money moving through this industry. But I want to know how much of this actually translates into a sustainable business for event professionals, because we hear millions, but how much of it actually translates into sustainable business for the event professionals?
Well, will I say how much of it does it translate to businesses for professionals? It doesn't really. I would say revenue over the years, revenue is different from event revenue is different from profit. And so because it's different from profit, I would say that the event business, of course, money is moving. It's moving well. But you can't say because an event planner, because that's what people are hearing outside. Event planners, they're making so much money. Yes, in question. But event planners are here, okay, this event is costing 20 million. This event is costing 50 million. It does not translate to profit for an event planner. And that's what people don't know. And even the event professionals now should be asking themselves, do you want to create revenue or you want to make profit? Do you want to make, and when we say profit means you should be seeing the business side of your work such that it can become sustainable. And for a business to become sustainable, it has to be profitable. And when there's profit, that means in the slow season of a business, it can still sustain. We can still have the right people coming together to push things well professionally. So I would say we should look at the details. Money is moving, but moving where? Is money moving in terms of, because I feel people are just talking about revenue, but revenue is always from profit. So we should look at it. So an event was 20 million. By the time you rent a venue, you should look at details. Events about vendors, venue, logistics, entertainment, master of ceremony, all those people are coming into that space. So when you say 20 million, please, in the budget that we create as event professionals, there are budgets that come into play. By the time you deduct all that, most of the time the event planners are going with maybe zero to little profit, just to be very sincere, authentic. So it's not about just having that regular event every weekend. The event professionals also should be asking, are they profitable? Can they sustain this business in the next 50 years? Can it survive any form of crisis because they are reserved somewhere? So money, I think what we're asking is an average, what we're asking is knowing if money is moving in the event. It's moving, but is it translating to profit for us? That's the question. And
so is it translating to profit?
I think it's little, not as much, because now most people and most event professionals are into the creativity of events, yes. But the business of event, I don't think they have been intentional, because there's a bit of there's part of proper pricing is not really in place. Proper pricing is not in place. Contracts, most of our events, growing or evolving event professionals are not even very conversant with contracts. Most people are not also conversant with systems, operational systems that make things work properly. So if you put all of this together, structure, logistics that are done professionally, and having the right kind of people work with you, then you will see there is more to it than just just creating an event. Most people are just creating an event, but they're not looking at the business of events. The business of events will make an event evolve better, and people will have businesses in event that can scale up, that can even meet global standard. And right now, most of the event in Nigeria, yes, we are creating events. We are very creative. We are doing beautiful events, but the business around it, the operation systems that makes it professional is not being imbibed. So profit is a thin line.
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break and then we'll be right back for more on this conversation on the business of events. Do stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
For 25 years, Business Day has delivered credible journalism, intelligent analysis, and decision-shaping insights to Nigeria and Africa's business community. Introducing Africa's first AI-integrated website, enhanced with powerful new capabilities. At the heart of the new platform is the AI-enabled chatbot, built to help you navigate stories faster, ask questions, get summaries, and access deeper context instantly. Text-to-speech functionality, allowing you to listen to articles on the go.
The Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos, has recorded an 11.8% growth in air traffic.
Whether you're commuting, driving, or multitasking, Business Day now moves with you. And with our new language translation feature, our journalism becomes even more accessible. You can select your preferred language, thereby expanding reach across diverse audiences in Nigeria, Africa, and beyond. This innovation reinforces our commitment to being not just a news platform, but also a smart, accessible, and future-ready business intelligence hub. As we celebrate 25 years of impact, we step confidently into the future, powered by technology, driven by credibility, and focused on you. Visit the new Business Day website today and experience the future of news.
Attention business leaders. Want to make informed decisions? Join the ranks of the best with Premium Business Day. Access in-depth analysis and expert opinions to stay ahead. Subscribe now at premium.businessday.ng and unlock premium content. Plus, you get 50% off your first subscription. Don't miss out. Make smarter choices and seize new opportunities. Sign up now and elevate your business game. Visit premium.businessday.ng today.
At Providus Bank, we're committed to your growth and success. You're never alone on the journey. Our personalized relationship banking is how we do things together. It's what sets us apart. We value every individual and partnership and treat them as such. We're committed to helping you grow and celebrating your success. This is your life story, your future, your forward. This is all about you. Let's move you forward. Providus Bank.
You're still watching Business Morning Live right here on Business Day Television. And just before we went on the break, we were speaking about Nigeria's experience economy and the business of event. But we're speaking with Ori Moses on the show this morning. I want us to talk about the numbers, right? Oftentimes people talk about what it takes to actually plan a realistic Nigerian wedding. So maybe, I don't know what the average number of guests is for an average Nigerian wedding. If it's 100, if it's 200, 300, but I mean, just the average that most couples, look out for. What realistically should we be looking at to plan a realistic Nigerian wedding, and what are the biggest cost drivers?
That's a good question, and it's also deep. A realistic Nigerian wedding, based on what we started off with, saying that right now with the evolving trend in the market, is now about experiences. So if we're talking about realistic budget, we should be looking at the kind of clients that we're dealing with. So a realistic budget for a middle or an average Nigerian. So when you say average Nigerian, I'm assuming they're talking about middle income earner, an middle income Nigerian citizen. So if it's that, that means we should be looking realistically if they want a well-executed event that creates a bit of a middle level of experience. So I'm not saying the full, we should be looking at a 10 million to 30 million, kind of. If not saying 50 million, but let's say 10 million to 30 million, kind of, for a middle income Nigerian couple for a wedding. That should be what we should look at. That actually wants this event experience, wants a guest journey, wants people to remember, wants as a way she wants people to feel. They want to put a personalization around their event, a bit of it, if they want it to be well executed, just a bit of it. That would be the range.
So what are the biggest cost drivers? What have you seen that most people spend more money on? Is it food? Is it the venue, or what?
The cost drivers has to do first with that. It still has to do with this thing called the experience. So the cost driver we have to, that makes it that high is number one, the venue. So if you talk about Lagos, our popular cities, Abuja, Port Harcourt, you should be looking. Then where in Lagos? Is it Lagos Island? Is it Lagos mainland? And for those that know what the cost if you're in Lagos, Lagos Island, when we talk about Lagos Island, let's look at places going from Ikoyi, Lekki, like venues there. That's, if you know what the price is. So if they say a venue is 15, let me just say 15 million, that's it. Or let's just go a bit lower, a bit, let's say you get a 5.5 million or 6 million. So how much is remaining for a 10 million event? Then you want a good professional. So you want, let's say at most you want to deal with a mid-level professional in food catering. And the food caterer is saying, let's say a good one, mid-level, 8,000 per plate with all the right ingredients. The next thing is the guest count. So how many guests? So for 10 guests, 8,000, how much is that already? So you're now working with 100, 200, 300. So the venue, yes, I'm saying I'm not going that the drivers are the venue, but also it has also to do with the experience the client wants to create. So to determine the kind of vendors that we're working on that project. So of course, from the venue goes to the food catering, goes to the drinks catering. So why I'm saying drinks catering, people don't mention a bit of drinks catering because alcohol, like for those that, in terms of drinks, alcoholic drinks are coming in. Alcoholic drinks are quite on the high side. So now the brand of alcoholic drinks that have been delivered, I'm not talking about the people that will service this, that will do the catering of the drinks, just about purchasing the drinks. That's it. So from that to the entertainment, the master of ceremony, the disc jockey, the live bands, the entertainers, maybe cultural performance, since it's a wedding, the surprise elements that brings all that experience together, the staffing. So what kind of staffing? There are all kind of staffings you can have. But if you want good staffing that brings the right hospitality, then that's going to increase the price. The accommodation, the logistics, the energy, the power, all of that thing, those are the things that, increases your bills, that makes it look as if the event space and the event execution, the cost for it is quite expensive. But it's not expensive because there's currently inflation in the economy. So, and we're in Nigeria where, inflation is here and our prices are always evolving, it's not stable. You could wake up this morning, things are at this price, wake up the next morning, it's this price. And so the more reason why we need contract even for we as event professionals with the right fit vendors, such that if an event is going for more than 6 months or 2 months, there must be a defined period for how long that can work, even for the vendor, so that in case there's a problem, there's a challenge of market increase, we should look into that. So let me just stop there.
Right. Let me also talk about something I think is really important, but I think you've also spoken to it, which is about the pricing and cost, which obviously I know that pricing and cost changes very quickly. So I think I just wanted to know how you price and manage an event when the cost of almost everything from food to the logistics and the decor, they can actually shift between the time a client books and the actual event. So how are you able to successfully handle this?
So as an event professional, what we are meant to do, and what I know that we do, is to ensure that this thing called contract. That's why the proper pricing, having a contract is very important with clients. So, and also communication, also making the client understand the season that we are in, the volatility of our market, and putting that to pen, saying that within this period and this period, this can happen. And even for us, we ensure that maybe 30 days or 60 days ahead, there's that clause in the contract that we can carefully review and see if there's any significant change. But one thing that we do that as event professionals we should have what they call contingency plan, and which means in the pricing you should also have buffers. Buffers can be 10% to 25%. It should be in your pricing because of this, kind of things that can happen. So when you put, that's why if you are aware, if you put this, at least it can cover up if there's a bit of a shift. Then if you have a contract, it makes it safer, just in case 30 days, 60 days before that event, you have a meeting with your client to say, I think there are significant shifts. It could be food price, it can change. It could be drinks, it can just have this significant increase. That is have a transparent conversation with the client. So when you have contracts, when you have contingency plans, also factor on the risk that can come up in between, then I think you are kind of slightly covered.
Right.
Yes.
So just the contingency plan. But it's also important for us to talk about what we often see, which is the glamour of the event. You've spoken about guest experience and all of that, which basically is what people term as glamour. But we don't see the business structure behind them. What are some of the biggest operational mistakes that you would say can quietly destroy an otherwise successful event business?
What can quietly destroy an otherwise successful business?
What mistakes?
What mistakes? Well, I think the mistakes that can occur that will affect an event from being successful is always the things that happen pre-event, the operational space. Once that is not done properly, it will affect the flow of that event. So what I will say is, for event to be successful, you need to work on your systems. Once that is not done right, it affects everything that happens in the execution, that's on the day of the event. So looking at that starts with having the right vendors. When you don't have the right vendors, there's a problem, because our event space is all about ecosystem. I'm meant to work with network of businesses, network of professionals, network of trained hands that understand it. That's what makes our business the outcome looks good. So if this is not done right, then we already have a problem. So now that we're not having people, we're not designing experiences, and now we're not having people even come into event production, that's quite sensitive. You need to be careful. You need to watch out for the health. You need to watch out for security. You need to watch out for technical glitches. So you need to have the right technical team on ground. You need to have the right master of ceremony that understand what you're trying to do, not just someone that wakes up and say, I want to be a master of ceremony. So it's quite different. So all of this can actually cause a bit of glitches or can make our event unsuccessful. And also creating hospitality is very key in our business. So if you don't have the right team that understand hospitality, then your event might be unsuccessful, depending on what even your clients define as successful.
Right. I think that answers it, because we know that this industry is quite competitive.
Yes.
We see new planners, new decorators, new vendors emerging every day. They're entering the market. What would you say separates a professional event company from someone who simply just knows how to put together a beautiful event?
So what separates a professional event company to someone that can just plan an event, to someone that can design an experience? Two different things. Is what we call proper pricing, having the right contract, having the right structure, the systems, having the right hands, having the right train, yes, the right hands all together. When you have all of that together, knowing how logistics works, knowing how to sit down, understand what the client wants, because we're now in a market where clients are also very well aware. They're not in the dark. So most of the time your clients are far ahead. They are seeing things in different spaces. So they come to you, they're asking you should be on top of it. So if you don't have that, you can't create the right experience. You can plan an event, organize. That's what they've been doing. Just decorate and make sure that you follow instruction. But an event professional is someone that is now bringing value. You are competing with value, not competing with price anymore. Value of what you are bringing to the table, value on how the client, are you bringing what the client wants to feel about their event? Are you able to ensure that the guests that these clients are bringing in are able to come into that event and remember it appropriately, just the way the clients want or the stakeholders want, even in the corporate, or how the brand of a company wants it, their business objective or their brand to be perceived. So that's distinct an event professional from just an event planner that is just coming up. No, not even coming up. We have a lot of them. They're event planners, but a professional that is trained will design the event with the right people, knows how to recruit the right people that can come together and implement the right things. A good example is the popular one that we just saw recently, the wedding, Pella and Jarvis.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something like that. It's just some details. See the cake designer. You see, there's a different around that. Just to bring that into.
So you say that? Are you saying that was professionally planned?
It was professionally planned. Yes, it was professionally planned, because there's no how you can have that done without. But that's us seeing it from the outside. The next thing is the guest telling us what he felt. On the media, that's where everybody was feeling about it. Right. Yes.
Let's talk about the media.
Yes.
Technology and social media has completely changed how events are marketed and experienced, and how much they're even influencing what clients now expect from event professionals. From your perspective, I mean, you've been doing this for a while. What would you say has changed with the advent of technology and social media in what clients now expect from events?
With technology right now, it's no longer like an add-on. Social media has made technology in events become part of the experience. But it's not meant to be the experience, but it's not becoming part of the experience. So because of that, it's making most of our clients to demand so much more. The demand of what they expect in terms of execution is quite higher. And so because it's higher, then we need to keep up with the desires of the clients and desires of guests too, because now they can sit. So that means a client can come to us and see certain things on Instagram and wants us to replicate. But now our job as event professionals is saying, yes, we can replicate, but we cannot replicate it the way this and this was done for this and this event. But we can replicate it to suit your objective, either for a brand or suit your objective for you as a client, to see what kind of audience are you bringing, what kind of guests are coming for your event, what is your personality, how are you perceived to the public. And so the way you are perceived, we have to bring it into the event, so also put it into the event plan, while still looking at what it is that you liked, that you shared with us for maybe Pinterest or TikTok, but ensuring that it suits your personality. Because if you go bring a particular kind of concepts that you saw on Pinterest, or you saw on TikTok, or you saw on Instagram, and just put it in and just slap it in and just dive it into your event, it might not bring out the final beauty of professionalism in that work. But our work is to sit down, look at it, and say, okay, we accept that you like this, but let's listen to you. Let's understand you as you and what it covers, and not infuse it and allow it get into your kind of thing. Then we can now move, and with that, people can experience the event and know that it's not separate from the personality of the client or the stakeholders involved, or even the businesses that the brand, whatever business brand is, something like that. I don't know if it answers.
I think you're basically saying that what I hear is you're saying that social media, like you make use of social media to sort of see a client's personality. But I also wanted to know, I mean, what if the client is not on social media? I think I wanted to know how technology and social media influences how you plan your event. So maybe somebody would say that now with technology, maybe they make use of AI to do some things. It helps them to ease in and all of that. So I guess that's what I'm thinking that many people want to know.
Okay, yes. So yes, with technology, now you're saying what I was saying about social media was not us looking at clients for their social media account. No, saying that sometimes the client actually show us what they want from social media because the social media is out there. So that makes most clients, that's why I think their desires are more, because now with social media, with technology, they can see things more. So they are demanding for things they see on social media and bring it to our table and say, what I just saw on social media about this event, I think I would like to replicate it for my own event. That's what I was trying to say. Then now, with event technology, we have to evolve. Now things are virtually, AI is now on top of the game. So with AI now, we are able to come into a space where our clients, we can show them a bit of what we want to create almost immediately. They can see it like it's real. And they say, okay, this is where we are headed to. So how do you work? In event industry, we have what we call the mood board. So the mood board with AI is faster.
Yes.
It makes it so fast. So what technology has done for us is making our work smarter and faster, and also building a sense of reliability from our clients. So when clients come and say they want this and this and this, with AI, we can just do all of that and bring it to life and show them that this is where you're headed to. This is the guest journey you're looking at. Like, oh, brilliant. And so AI has made our work very fast to present to clients. We're still learning more because we're starting to catch up. There's a whole lot to catch up in the AI space, but this is what we've been able to do so far, being able to present. And even in the virtual space, we're able to now use AI to project our work in a very good way. Yes.
My final question will be looking ahead. Where are some of the opportunities? Where are some of the biggest opportunities that you're seeing in Nigeria's events industry? And what would you say needs to change for it to become more structured and a more sustainable business ecosystem for everyone?
Wow, that is quite dicey. So when you talk about the opportunities right now in the Nigerian event ecosystem, we are not yet there. Nigeria is very good. We have great, wonderful things we are doing in the event. So it's a creative space. So we have well-talented people that have talent doing things. But now, the opportunity that is available now is for us to build a sustainable business around our creativity. And that's where the challenge is. A lot of times, event professionals are not building sustainable business structure around the event space. So we have culture, we have everything. We have creativity, we have the right culture, we have the tourism development, we have everything that can make events work well. So the opportunity now is for government, for our government policies should be made. Private owners and private stakeholders should look into creating infrastructures for us and helping us come into a space where we can build sustainable business in the event space, not just creating events and just it's moving, but now making it sustainable that in the long run, owners of event companies can now sit down and say, yes, I have a sustainable business with the right hands and the right team to push that. Whatever happens, they can sustain. So the social event is what it should be running. It's what we can start. Those are opportunities now. We can push, Africans, our Nigerians in diaspora, our Africans in diaspora. We can use what we are doing now. Once we build a sustainable business around it, to push them to come to Nigeria, to come to Lagos, Abuja. It should not become a place where we're just having parties. We're meant to evolve into a business that allows for growth, which means Nigerians are coming to the African diasporas can come into our country, not for parties alone, but to have an experience of our culture, our fashion, our food through events. But this cannot be done if we're not building sustainable business, if we're not doing proper pricing, if there's no industry standards yet in the space, if we don't have the right policies to protect us, if we don't have the right infrastructure. A good example was that there was a client that we had that was we did a virtual launch of what she wanted to do, but in terms of the physical launch, she decided to go to South Africa. Why? Because we don't have the right infrastructure in venues that could push that kind of event. So we are not yet there. We still need to work on that. So that can be done by the support of the government, giving us the right infrastructures, the support of the government also helping us to start building standards in the industry. When we have standards, people will have the proper pricing standard that should run in events. So it's not about having cheaper decorators, cheaper planners. It's not that anymore. Now the competition should be professionalism. What value are the event professionals bringing? That should be our competition. So with that, we can be a sustainable business, because where we're headed to, the future of Nigerian event business is professionalism, professional experience. People want to have professional experience now. At least an average Nigerian wants a professional experience of their event, and that means any event planner is not about, they are looking at value. What can you bring to this table that we are bringing you onto, and how to change all of what they have in their head into the experience that they have and beyond. Why clients will want an event professional is that they want you to do things that they can't do themselves. They have the idea, but bringing it to life the way they want it has to be done by us.
So basically the opportunities are around infrastructure, creating more infrastructure for the business of event, the event ecosystem. Well, thank you so much, Ori Moses, for joining us this morning on Business Morning Live. It was very insightful having this conversation with you. I was just speaking with Ori Moses, founder and head of event curation at Strategy at Perfecto Events. She's an event curator and strategist. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on Business Morning Live. Still have more conversations coming up. Do stay with us.
For 25 years, BusinessDay has delivered credible journalism, intelligent analysis, and decision-shaping insights to Nigeria and Africa's business community. Introducing Africa's first AI-integrated website, enhanced with powerful new capabilities. At the heart of the new platform is the AI-enabled chatbot, built to help you navigate stories faster, ask questions, get summaries, and access deeper context instantly. Text-to-speech functionality, allowing you to listen to articles on the go.
The Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos, has recorded an 11.8% growth in air traffic.
Whether you're commuting, driving, or multitasking, BusinessDay now moves with you. And with our new language translation feature, our journalism becomes even more accessible. You can select your preferred language, thereby expanding reach across diverse audiences in Nigeria, Africa, and beyond. This innovation reinforces our commitment to being not just a news platform, but also a smart, accessible, and future-ready business intelligence hub. As we celebrate 25 years of impact, we step confidently into the future, powered by technology, driven by credibility, and focused on you. Visit the new BusinessDay website today and experience the future of news.
I am, of course, a great admirer of the impeccable credibility, professionalism, and business savviness of BusinessDay. If you really mean business in Nigeria, start your day with BusinessDay.
BusinessDay is West Africa's leading provider of business intelligence and information, delivering premium content across diversified media platforms, including online, mobile, and print. Since its inception in 2001 with a weekly newspaper production, BusinessDay has expanded its reach to provide exclusive content accessible through print, mobile, and online channels. At Business Day, our mission is clear: to be the foremost provider of business and financial content, empowering readers to make informed decisions in Nigeria and Africa. Since our establishment, we have been committed to delivering insightful, relevant, and accurate information about Nigeria's business and finance environment, while contextualizing the impact of global events. We monitor the stock market, analyze the companies driving it, and report on government policies and their economic implications. From decoding market trends to dissecting economic shifts, we offer actionable investment ideas and serve as a compass for decision-makers navigating complexity. Beyond headlines, Business Day fosters discussions on critical economic issues through impactful conferences and events. These platforms bring industry leaders together to share narratives that drive innovation and spark meaningful dialogues. Our events galvanize connections, bridging the gap between inspiration and achievement. For businesses seeking visibility, our strong digital presence offers unparalleled opportunities, with millions of followers across social media and a dynamic website attracting visitors from within and outside Nigeria. Business Day is the ideal platform to boost visibility for your products and services. If you're looking for in-depth analysis and expert opinions on Nigeria and Africa's business landscape, Business Day is your guide.
Every legacy has a beginning. Ours evolved. Built on trust and carried forward as a second-generation family legacy, Bemio has grown into Nigeria's largest cash-in-transit provider, trusted where precision and reliability matter most. But we are more than movement. We deliver protection at every level, from professional guarding to journey management to concierge services. And through Bemio Polo, we reflect the identity, heritage, and standards we uphold. This is more than service. This is a legacy in motion. Bemio, your partner to safer living.
Nigeria, a land of boundless energy, driven by the pulse of over 200 million dreams. At the heart of this momentum stands a giant, Seplat Energy, an indigenous powerhouse accounting for a vital share of Nigeria's oil and gas output, propelled by the historic acquisition milestone with the acquisition of ExxonMobil's onshore and shallow water assets, significantly expanding its production capacity and marking its entry into offshore operations. We are the engine of prosperity, Nigeria's leading domestic gas supplier with a total gas production output of 2.7 billion cubic feet, and the landmark Ano gas project delivering first gas. We have elevated our total processed gas output to 855 million standard cubic feet per day onshore. Indeed, we have brought domestic gas utilization to new heights, powering industries and securing energy for millions. But we are not just growing production, we're growing responsibly. By ending routine flares, we are decarbonizing our operations today to protect the Nigeria of tomorrow. Our reach is expanding. From offshore gas distribution to the growth of CNG for transport and industry, we are deepening our presence across the entire value chain. Our impact reaches the grassroots. Through innovative mini-grid projects, we are bringing clean, reliable energy to local communities, fueling economic empowerment where it's needed most. We are more than an energy company. We are a partner in progress, a leader in the energy transition, a giant rooted in Nigeria for Nigeria. Seplat Energy, leading Nigeria's energy transition, powering the future.
At Providus Bank, we're committed to your growth and success. You're never alone on the journey. Our personalized relationship banking is how we do things together. It's what sets us apart. We value every individual and partnership and treat them as such. We're committed to helping you grow and celebrating your success. This is your life story, your future, your forward. This is all about you. Let's move you forward. Providus Bank.
Looking for fast and reliable answers to your business and economic questions? Meet SIA, Business Day's Strategic Intelligence Assistant, Nigeria's first AI-powered news chatbot. Simply visit businessday.ng, click the SIA chat icon, and ask your question in plain language. Whether it's inflation, market trends, company insights, government policies, or personal finance, SIA delivers instant answers powered by Business Day's trusted journalism. Smarter insights, faster decisions. Visit businessday.ng today and discover the future of business intelligence with SIA.
Well, this is still the Business Day CEO Forum, the 14th edition, and it's still a very epic moment here at Eco Hotel and Suite, speaking with CEOs, key stakeholders, and business leaders. And now I'm speaking with the CEO of Aga Khan University Hospital, is Mr. Koram Jamal. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
I want to start by asking you about some of the key takeaways that you've gotten from this event. I mean, you've been here for a while now, and then you had a presentation. Talk to me about what you think about this year's theme, which is from stability to shared prosperity, and also some of the key takeaways that you might have gotten from some of the sessions which we had here.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you for Business Day for inviting the Aga Khan University Hospital to participate in this very fruitful CEOs forum. A lot of interesting talks and topics have been talked about this today, including energy, finance, banking, issues and challenges that are facing the Nigerian business sector, and what the business community, the government, along with the private sector are planning to do to come together and take the agenda forward. So it has been very interesting. Ours was really to do with the healthcare sector, and what we as an Aga Khan University Hospital, which is a private not-for-profit teaching tertiary hospital, is planning to do in terms of trying to keep the African patients not going abroad outside of the continent, but they can acquire quality healthcare within Africa.
And then when you speak about quality healthcare within Nigeria, I think Africa is really important, because every year we see billions of dollars leaving Africa out of the African continent, for medical treatment abroad. And we see also that many of our best healthcare professionals, I'll speak also from the standpoint of being a Nigerian, many of our best healthcare professionals are leaving the country. And I know this also is happening in other African countries. How do we reverse this brain drain that is going on?
Yes, so I spoke about a few things. One is regularly building talent. That's number one. Number two is ensuring that we pay what is right to our physicians. Number three, what is also very important is if we do not provide the right practicing environment for physicians, then they have no other choice but to leave the countries where they're coming from. So for a cardiologist who has spent 12, 13, 14 years training to become a specialist, if he does not have the right environment in which to practice medicine, whether it's to do with outpatient consulting clinic work, or whether it's to do with the cath lab, diagnostic and interventional procedures, or whether it's to do with the recovery that takes place for these patients in the coronary care unit, if those facilities do not exist, then those cardiologists will simply not stay. So those are the challenges that we're currently facing, and that is what we as the private sector and as the government need to come together to ensure that we provide the right environment for our physicians to practice quality medicine.
Right. And I like when you said practicing quality medicine. That also brings me to the issue of trust, because trust happens to be a very recurring theme, especially in the healthcare sector. How do we get to the point where we begin to trust, the healthcare sector, to begin to trust, to make use of, healthcare within the continent?
Right. So another very important factor. Remember, the patients normally just see the physicians, but behind the physicians, you have other different clinical care providers, which includes nurses and allied health professionals. So they work cohesively as a team in providing that quality care to the patients. We at the Aga Khan University Hospital, we were the very first institution in sub-Saharan Africa to accredit ourselves with Joint Commission International. Now, this is an international gold standard quality accreditation for healthcare institutions, where you have more than 200 standards and over 1,200 measurable elements that you are regularly surveyed on, which assesses how good you are when it comes to delivery of quality care to patients. Besides this, we are also College of American Pathologists accredited laboratory. We also have 2 centers of excellence in stroke and heart attacks, which is a CCPC program from Joint Commission International, and the list goes on. So this is our way of showing to the patient that not only do we have the brightest minds in the institution, not only do we have the fantastic infrastructure and equipment, but we also have external quality accreditations with us that demonstrate our commitment to providing quality care.
Right. And you speak a lot about, collaboration within African healthcare. I know you had partnerships also with Kenyan Airways. What does it take to truly create a healthcare system which is, co-creating, collaborating? What does that look like?
So we have tried to, at least in our most recent partnership that we've now done with Kenya Airways, what that means is for the patients that are here in Nigeria, they can have access to quick airline tickets. They can have access to subsidized and discounted airfares. They can even have access to preferred seating arrangement within the aircrafts. They will also have access to stretchers and oxygen cylinders. And once those patients actually land in Nairobi, then our team from the Nairobi side will ensure that the patients are properly picked up from the airport through an ambulance, brought to the hospital immediately, so that continuity of care continues. Those patients may also even come with their own relatives and loved ones. So we have made arrangements for those loved ones to stay nearby the hospital. So we've created possibilities for accommodation. And after the care is done and those patients return back to their home country in Nigeria, the care doesn't stop. Our physicians in Nairobi will continue to stay in touch with the primary physicians here in Nigeria through teleconsultations and virtual care, so that we ensure that the care does not stop. So that is.
This is Business Week, a weekly program brought to you by BusinessDay Television.
And we're live from Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, bringing you the latest insight into the stories that matter for business and the economy. I am Deborah Eze.
Onyeka Valentine.
I am Destiny Momo.
My name is Elizabeth Musa.
When you think of business, think no more, think Business Day.
I know that Business Day television will go places. It is the next big thing that will happen to the Nigerian media sector without a shred of doubt.
Business Morning Live right here on Business Day Television. My name is Elizabeth Musa. Nigeria's insurance industry has just crossed a major regulatory milestone. After months of fundraising, restructuring, and consolidation, insurers have had to meet significantly higher capital requirements under the new regulatory framework. But raising the money is only the first part of the story. The bigger test is what happens next. Does stronger capital translate into stronger insurers, better claims paying capacity, and greater confidence in the industry? And could this exercise also leave a smaller, more concentrated market with the implications for competition and for consumers. With the recapitalization deadline now behind us, what has actually changed in Nigeria's insurance industry and what comes next? Well, joining me this morning is Mrs. Ebele Nwachuku. She's the chairman of the Nigeria Insurance Association and also the managing director at Rex Insurance. She joins us now on Business Morning Live. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Mrs. Nwachuku.
Thank you so much for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to see you this morning. Now, let me start by talking about the recapitalization deadline, which has now passed. Now, from the industry's perspective, what does the insurance landscape look like today compared with what it was before this exercise began?
Well, thank you very much. So I think the most important change is that we've moved from capital adequacy, or the conversation on capital adequacy, to a conversation on capacity and sustainability. Before this exercise, the industry had already started to build a lot of momentum to write larger risks. We already started building also larger premiums. In year 2025, the industry recorded premium growth in excess of 47.5%, where about 68% of that was retained locally. And gives us the capacity to do even more, on the journey that we have been on as an industry.
Right. Now, we know that the whole objective was to create a stronger and more resilient insurers. Are we already seeing evidence that this additional capital is improving underwriting capacity and the ability to take on larger risks?
Well, the exercise we just completed, so we cannot attribute, we can say yes, that we're beginning to see that the industry has greater capacity. We have raised a significant amount of capital. But like I said, earlier, we had already started to build a lot of capacity in terms of the underwriting of larger risks. We have started to write bigger risk and retain the same locally. So the capital, that we have now and NIRA is only going to help us to build additional capacity, improve our risk management capabilities, improve our underwriting discipline. Risk management is just going to go higher. So the industry is changing from being a small, let me say, relatively small player in the financial services sector to becoming a major contributor to what happens, in the financial sector. So yes, we have begun to see a difference. We've begun to think about things differently, more importantly. And we are ready for the opportunities that NIRA has given us and the opportunities that our ability to raise capital has also presented to the industry.
Right. You rightly have spoken about raising capital, which could also come with pressure on businesses to actually grow quickly and generate returns. Now, is there a risk that the insurers could actually become more aggressive in chasing market share rather than becoming more disciplined in how they underwrite risk?
I must tell you that risk exists significantly because now we are all thinking about returns to our shareholders and those that have invested in the industry. But we must guard against that as an industry, and the NIA would support the process for self-regulation very seriously. We must build a stronger, more resilient industry. We must maintain underwriting discipline, risk-based pricing, appropriate reserving, reinsurance, and strong governance as an industry. So yes, there's a need to compete, but we want to compete on the basis of service, on the basis of innovation, and not price. So there will be a risk to do that, to just be a bit reckless, but I think we will control ourselves, and that's why the NIA exists, to provide those frameworks to guard against the desire or the temptation, to do that, So yes, we will compete, we will be under pressure to grow, but we do that in a very structured and disciplined manner, maintaining underwriting discipline, more importantly. Risk-based pricing, very, very important at this point. We're also moving to risk-based capital. The minimum capital requirement, recapitalization, is just the foundation of what NIRA is requiring of us. we're then going to move to risk-based capital, which means that your capital, the capital that you hold, the business that you write must, be in collaboration or must corroborate with the capital that you have. So if you begin to write recklessly, then the regulator will keep requiring, different levels of capital from you. And that is something that we must guard against, and we must approach in a very disciplined manner.
And consolidation was always expected to be a part of this process. What does a potentially smaller number of stronger insurers mean for competition and for the pricing and ultimately the consumer?
Oh, well, yes, consolidation was always expected, and what it means is that governance would actually be a little bit, will be improved, will be better, to cooperate as an industry, as an association. It also means that we can do a lot more together. It also means that we can do a lot more together. The insurance industry has always worked in a very consolidated manner, accepting risk and writing risk together. So having a smaller number of players, would make that even stronger for the industry.
Let's now talk about claims, because that's where the average Nigerian actually experiences insurance. I mean, I being one of the consumers now, how much should a customer expect to see improved claim settlement and service as a result of this recapitalization that has now been done?
Well, I think that claims are going to be. Claims have always been a focus for us, as an industry. In the 2025, the industry paid over 300 billion in claims. And, these claims are also paid promptly across different segments. It's different segments of the economy, from oil and gas to individuals. Lots of claims were reported, substantiated, and paid. With additional capital, this is just going to further drive the ability of all players to pay claims and pay them promptly. Payment of claims also, sometimes the process is elongated, and that is what challenges some insureds. But with technology now becoming a strong part of what we are doing with recapitalization, the engagement of technology, and showing strong digital power, and using artificial intelligence to adjust our claims, we're just going to see the claims process improve significantly. The insurance industry has been very, very committed to payment of claims. And one of the things we're going to try to do also from the platform of the NIA is talk about the claims that we pay, because we pay these claims and we pay them, quietly. But I think we have to provide platforms where we talk about how much claims we pay and talk about the claims experiences and actually have customers. We see that on individual companies' platforms where individuals give testimonials of their experiences. So with NORA, and with this additional capital, claims is a focus. Paying claims quickly, consumer protection is a great focus for the regulator. The NIA also mediates when the customer is not satisfied with his claims process. So I think that claims are just going to be paid very quickly in a very structured manner, with NORA, with capital, and with how the regulator and the NIA are approaching consumer experience and consumer satisfaction.
But there's a lot of conversation and a question about insurance penetration. We can have better capitalized companies, but if too few Nigerians and businesses are buying insurance, the industry still has a problem. What needs to change on the demand side?
So yes, we have seen a lot of growth and engagement with commercial business, corporate business. A lot of the corporate entities insure their risks. But when we start to come down to the SMEs and the individuals, we don't see that same engagement happening. So the insurance industry, like I mentioned a little earlier, is engaging with a lot of technology. Technology, product innovation, product governance, and a very strong drive to improve awareness. Awareness not just in terms of the product, but also in terms of diversifying channels through which people can engage with the products. We have lots of programs already where we showcase our products and showcase our capacities, and we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to do that to improve penetration, diversify the products, engage with customers, and build products that suit their need. We want to de-risk this economy, so we're going to be paying a lot of attention to product development, using technology to drive how people engage from start to finish, from how they buy the product to how these claims are settled. This is going to be a very strong focus for us. So we think penetration will improve. We think we can move insurance from the corporate to the SMEs, to the individuals, to families, and we're going to concentrate a lot as an industry to make sure that this happens.
All right, Mrs. Owachukwu, let's also all talk about the new framework which we see moves the industry toward risk-based capital. What does this change practically for insurers, and how should it affect the way they assess and price risk?
So risk-based capital really is that the capital that you have, must be adequate for the risk that you underwrite. And like I said, the capital that we have raised, the minimum capital is the minimum. A lot of framework is coming from the regulator, a lot of guidance on how this is going to be approached, risk-based capital. When you write larger risk, then you need to increase your capital, so there's going to be risk-based capital and there's just going to be minimum capital. Minimum is minimum, which means that what you are writing is just basic. But as you begin to write larger risks, as you begin to write more specialized risk, there will be a requirement for you to increase your capital, to match the risk that you underwrite. I think that's great for the industry. I think that what is going to foster is a lot of professionalism. A lot of professionalism, a lot of professionalism in specific products. So which means that if you want to write oil and gas business, for example, you will build capacity, you will build a lot of capacity, you build a lot of capital, to do that. Just everyone will just not be doing exactly the same thing. Risk-based capital will help us further drive penetration because it will help all the companies focus on areas where they have specialization. So we look forward to that regime. Like I said, capital raising was the foundation for us. We're moving to risk-based. We're thinking about it. We're creating the framework to make this extremely successful. And we're going to build specialization, as we go along to guide the risk-based capital regime that we're going into now.
Now, we've spoken about the risk-based capital. Another concern in any recapitalization exercise is actually what happens to the shareholders and the investors. Would you say, or can I ask you, if the capital requirement made the sector more attractive to the serious long-term investors, or if it has raised the cost of staying in business?
Interestingly, there's always been a lot of interest in the insurance industry, and this NERA Act has increased that interest significantly. And that is one momentum that we're going to, continue to sustain. The minimum capital requirements, I think we raised over 42% of the capital raised. 42% as fresh capital, from the market. There was a lot of interest in the industry. We saw the price of insurance stock go up, in the stock market, and a lot of improvement, a lot of interest, both from global partners and very excitingly from the local market, from Nigeria itself, lots of investors wanting to come on board the insurance industry. We think this is going to continue. And like I said earlier, the challenge for the operators now is really how to make sure that we return, the ROE, the return on equity, is one that keeps the investors interested. Investors are interested in how they come into any business, how the business grows, and how they exit, the business when they want to do that. So the insurance industry, I think, is positioned with this process now to continue to attract shareholders, keep the shareholders and the investors that we have, because we're going to return have better returns to their investments in us. And that's going to happen. That's just the interest was significantly great, and one that shows us that the industry has reached a point where it will begin to really contribute to what the economy needs it to do, de-risk this economy and help us achieve the $1 trillion economy that we're looking forward to as a nation.
Right. We're truly looking forward to this $1 trillion economy. But as we look beyond recapitalization, where do you see some of the biggest growth opportunities for us? Is it retail insurance? Is it agriculture? Is it health? Is it infrastructure? Which are some of these areas that you're seeing some of the biggest growth opportunities, and what are some of the emerging risks around climate and technology that you see?
That's a broad question. So yes, we will see growth across all the sectors. So the retail is a focus. Like I said, the commercial has been doing pretty well. Has been in existence, but the retail, we're going to see growth in that retail space. We've also seen a growth in the agricultural space, with insurers providing cover to farmers and farming activities across Nigeria, and providing some guidance in terms of how weather impacts, the different seasons that we see in the agricultural sector. So we will see growth across all the sectors. Engagement with technology is also going to help us deepen how we engage across, the sectors. Emerging risks, we are looking at those cyber, the electric vehicles that we now see in our market, agriculture, using different methods, livestock, and different types of different segments of the agribusiness. So we see the growth happening across all sectors, but the focus on retail is going to be significantly higher, because that is where the growth needs to happen. The growth needs to happen with retail, the growth needs to happen with the SMEs, the growth needs to happen with all individuals engaging with the insurance industry and having the products that specifically address the needs that they have. So with recapitalization, we have the opportunity to build and create lots of products, and create lots of channels, and create lots of engagements across the Nigerian economy to make sure that insurance plays the role that it should play in all sectors.
Now, if you look at this conversation 2 or 3 years from now, what would convince you that this recapitalization exercise was successful? And I'm not talking about simply because insurers meet a capital threshold, but because Nigerians have greater confidence in insurance. What would assure you or tell you that, indeed, the recapitalization exercise was successful?
We've always, we've had, rightly or wrongly, trust deficits in the insurance sector. So in 2 to 3 years, we would see that trust deficit improve. We'll see people have more faith in the insurance industry. We see an insurance industry that is extremely vibrant, where the regulator is actually just doing its work and the industry is self-regulating itself, doing the right things, underwriting in a disciplined manner, paying claims very promptly, consumer confidence going up. One of the things that NERA also has provided is the Policyholders Protection Fund, where, a fund is set aside for any insurance company that's not able to meet its obligations. So we see an industry that is completely vibrant, an industry that is returning, giving great returns to its shareholders, is playing its role in the economic sector. In 2 to 3 years, we'll be discussing a very different insurance industry. And I dare say that capital would also be higher than the minimum, across this market, because as the potentials are deployed, as the potentials are explored, more and more, capital will come in to enable us to do more than we are currently doing. We see technology playing a great role in the insurance sector, over the next couple of years, and we see claims paid very, very promptly. Diversified products, diversified channels, a vibrant talent base, so you see lots of young people also. We're going to be building a lot of talent, there'll be a lot of interest in the industry from, young people going out, stepping out of school, making insurance a career. I see a very, very, very bright future for the insurance industry in Nigeria following this exercise.
Right, thank you very much, Mrs. Ebele Nwachukwu, Chairman, Nigeria Insurance Association, and also Managing Director, Rex Insurance. Thank you for joining us this morning on Business Morning Live. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And we look forward to more engagements. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And that's where we leave it this morning on Business Morning Live. Up next is Social Listening. Do stay with us.
This is Business Week, a weekly program brought to you by BusinessDay Television.
And we're live from Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, bringing you the latest insight into the stories that matter for business and the economy. I am Deborah Eze.
Onyeka Valentine. I am Destiny Momo.
My name is Elizabeth Moses.
When you think of business, think no more, think Business Day.
I know that Business Day Television will go places. It is the next big thing that will happen to the Nigerian media sector without a shade of doubt.
For 25 years, Business Day has delivered credible journalism, intelligent analysis, and decision-shaping insights to Nigeria and Africa's business community. Introducing Africa's first AI-integrated website, enhanced with powerful new capabilities. At the heart of the new platform is the AI-enabled chatbot, built to help you navigate stories faster, ask questions, get summaries, and access deeper context instantly. Text-to-speech functionality, allowing you to listen to articles on the go.
The Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos, has recorded an 11.8% growth in air traffic.
Whether you're commuting, driving, or multitasking, Business Day now moves with you. And with our new language translation feature, our journalism becomes even more accessible. You can select your preferred language, thereby expanding reach across diverse audiences in Nigeria, Africa, and beyond. This innovation reinforces our commitment to being not just a news platform, but also a smart, accessible, and future-ready business intelligence hub. As we celebrate 25 years of impact, we step confidently into the future, powered by technology, driven by credibility, and focused on you. Visit the new Business Day website today and experience the future of news.
Every legacy has a beginning. Ours evolved. Built on trust and carried forward as a second-generation family legacy, Bemio has grown into Nigeria's largest cash-in-transit provider, trusted where precision and reliability matter most. But we are more than movement. We deliver protection at every level, from professional guarding to journey management to concierge services. And through Bemio Polo, we reflect the identity, heritage, and standards we uphold. This is modern service. This is a legacy in motion. Bemio, your partner to safer living.
People say time flies when you enjoy yourself, and I think that's the story of Business Day. 25 years ago, Frank set out to build something Nigeria did not yet have in full measure. A newspaper that's dedicated entirely to the seriousness of business, economics, policy, and all those things that drive society in its all the dimensions that you can imagine. And that was not a small ambition, and it meant betting that Nigeria wanted depth over noise, which I think we do, certainly business people, analysis over sensation, and credibility over convenience. A quarter of a century later, that bet has paid off many, many times over. I think it's fair to say Business Day has become required reading for boardrooms, policymakers, investors, and anyone serious about understanding where the Nigerian economy is headed at any point in time. And what strikes me most, sitting in a privileged position as a member of the editorial board, is the consistency of the paper's character. Business Day has never chased the easy headline, and we debate this. It has stayed true to its founding instinct, that is good journalism in the business and economic space, realizing that that economic space must be rigorously interviewed. It must be independent and unafraid to hold power and capital accountable in equal measure without fear or favor. Now, that is a difficult balance to strike in any media environment, and even a lot harder to sustain for 25 years in the Nigeria of today. So I think that consistency is in large part a reflection of Frank himself. His discipline, his insistence on standards, and his quiet but firm belief that institutions outlast individuals when they're built properly. And certainly he's built an institution. And Frank didn't simply start a newspaper. I think he's built an institution with that paper, and one that has culture and a value system that has endured leadership transitions, economic cycles, and the disruption of the entire industry by the digital media, which in itself Frank has embraced. So I think we are celebrating his anniversary. We celebrate Frank, we celebrate Business Day, and not just 25 years of publishing, but 25 years of integrity in a profession that badly needs it in this country. So I think, Frank, it's fair to say congratulations to you and your team. We're extremely proud of you. Like I said, I feel extremely privileged to be part of the editorial board with all the debates and discussions and the many MBA sessions we have where we do meet. But once again, thank you for what you've done. Thank you for what you're doing. Congratulations to Business Day, and we look forward to another 25 years, in resplendent pleasure of doing the right thing in society for society's benefit. Congratulations, Frank. Congratulations, Business Day.
My name is Pastor Kari Bedia, the Senior Pastor of Life Restoration. I first came across Business Day in the early year 2000 at Amuwodofi along Festac Link Road. I knew about Business Day through Mr. Frank Aigugu, who is the publisher. Actually, Business Day became a voice in Nigeria through the provision of reliable business and financial information across Nigeria and some African countries. This is so because Business Day was established on a solid foundation which has helped the organization to stand immovable and well-rooted till today. Like many other media companies in Nigeria, Business Day went through some challenging moments at the early stage, but in all of it, God Almighty helped Business Day to sail through and became victorious and also so strong as we see today. And as a result, we can also, rejoice and sing songs of praise to the living God. And we know this is all the glories we have to go to God for sustaining Business Day. I also remember that I used to share, the word of God with prayer. With prayers together with all the members of staff of Business Days in those days, and through which I believe so strongly that this must have contributed one way or the other to the strong faith and the power of God, especially the ability of God to sustain Business Day. Until today, God Almighty has been so faithful. Praise the Lord. And my prayer today for Business Day is that God Almighty will make Business Day to move forward, grow great, and become an outstanding force to be reckoned with in Nigeria, in Africa, and even the world. at large. In Jesus' mighty name. I also pray for Mr. Frank Angugu for divine wisdom to be able to lead, all the staff, and also to make sure that the work, progresses. And I also pray for every member of staff that God Almighty is going to strengthen you. God will pour His grace upon your life in Jesus' mighty name. And all your labor will never be in vain in Jesus' mighty name. And I pray that God Almighty will abundantly bless every one of you that are working in Business Day today, beginning from Mr. Frank Aigugu down the line. And I pray that God Almighty will make all you've done to be highly rewarded in Jesus' mighty name. I pray once again that God Almighty will enlarge Business Day and will make it a voice to be reckoned with in Nigeria, in Africa, and also the entire world. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Wow, 25 years, Business Day. For any business, first of all, to have succeeded in Nigeria for 25 years, I bow my hat. Kudos to you. Business Day. I think when you're talking about professional journalism, you're thinking Business Day. When you're talking quality of content, you're talking Business Day. When you're talking quality of pictures, you're talking Business Day. When you're talking about editors that know their onions inside out, you're talking Business Day. When you're talking of a publisher who ensures the company has continued to go on and change throughout the season to keep revamping himself, we're talking Mr. Frank. Congratulations, Business Day, on 25 years. It couldn't have been easy, but I've seen the paper transform. People always say, why do I recommend Business Day when I'm doing stuff to them, my clients? And I say because they are professionals, they have good reporters. In working with Business Day, working with like a Depot, for example, on the oil and gas desk, I know he's a true professional. He knows his onions, he knows his sector inside out. So I'm always happy to recommend Business Day and work with them all the time. The other thing is that it's not just about the newspaper itself, it's the forums that they've created over the years. They've continued to reinvent themselves, and those forums they have, sector forums, are impacting people within the industry because it's a solid thought leadership forum that people are always wanting to go to and always wanting to learn. And the forums are even for the youth, for people, managers, for leadership, oil and gas sector, CEO forums, infrastructure. There's so many, and those forums are just really, really useful in this day and age to listen to experts talk about the different things. So kudos to you on that Business Day. Personally, I'd like to thank you for the support Business Day has given me throughout my career. Believe it or not, I have been working with Business Day for the last 25 years since they existed. So thank you for all your support whilst I was in Owando. Thank you all for your support while I was in Hill and Milton. And thank you all for your support when I started my own agency, Scott Communications. I just really admire the leadership. I admire the successes you've made. I value your paper tremendously. And all I need to say is keep doing the good work. Keep exceeding expectations in everything that you do. And to your editors, to your reporters, to your journalists, keep up the good work. You guys are doing excellent work in this industry. And I can't wait to see the transformation and the new things that you will come up with in the next 25 years. One thing, rest assured, we, my organization, Scott Communications, will always be there to support you. Have a brilliant 25th year anniversary.
For 25 years, Business Day has delivered credible journalism, intelligent analysis, and decision-shaping insights to Nigeria and Africa's business community. Introducing Africa's first AI-integrated website, enhanced with powerful new capabilities. At the heart of the new platform is the AI-enabled chatbot, built to help you navigate stories faster, ask questions, get summaries, and access deeper context instantly. Text-to-speech functionality, allowing you to listen to articles on the go.
The Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos, has recorded an 11.8% growth in air traffic.
Whether you're commuting, driving, or multitasking, Business Day now moves with you. And with our new language translation feature, our journalism becomes even more accessible. You can select your preferred language, thereby expanding reach across diverse audiences in Nigeria, Africa, and beyond. This innovation reinforces our commitment to being not just a news platform, but also a smart, accessible, and future-ready business intelligence hub. As we celebrate 25 years of impact, we step confidently into the future, powered by technology, driven by credibility, and focused on you. Visit the new Business Day website today and experience the future of news.
In conversations, then we're bringing it to your seat. Welcome to the social listening segment here on Business Day Television, where we bring to you the stories, debates, and moments generating conversation across social media. I am Elizabeth Musa. Now let's get into what is making waves online. For our very first conversation today, the Lagos State government is vowed to intensify enforcement against individuals harassing motorists and stopping luxury vehicles along the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway, describing the disruptive actions as strictly criminal. Now, speaking in the broadcast on Nigeria Info FM, Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat declared the state administration will take decisive ongoing action to clear the major transit corridor of unauthorized individuals targeting high-end cars and compromising public safety. Now, Hamzat condemned the activity, emphasizing that the government would not tolerate extortion or harassment on state roads, and confirmed that law enforcement agencies have already begun removing offenders from the axis. Now, the deputy governor further revealed that security agencies have leveraged the state's network of surveillance cameras along the Lekki-Ekpe route to track down suspects, noting that multiple arrests were executed over the weekend as legal proceedings get underway. Now, we'll see some of the reactions to this conversation, but there is a video I want us to take a look at. Let's take a look at the video.
You use your influence as deputy governor to stop this nonsense that goes on just down your road by that roundabout going to Lekki with these boys stopping luxury cars and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it has started, as you can see, as we discussed, a lot of that is criminal, and therefore we will not allow it. So we will take a lot of them off the street.
Yes. On behalf of those of us who use the Lagos-Ekpe road, I'd like to call your attention to the incidents of all kinds of funny people and a menace to society on that axis. From Lekki all
well, a lot of people have been arrested, really, if you commit, because a lot of cameras are also on that road, and people have been seen, and I can show you some people are in the magistrate court today.
That they were arrested last week or so. I think
towards the end, over the weekend.
You use your influence as deputy governor to stop this nonsense that goes on.
I hope truly that this luxury car spotters, these guys that harass motorists rather on the Lekki-Ekpe route, I hope that they really clamp down on, because they're becoming a menace along the Lekki corridors. It's not safe anymore driving your car. If you're driving a car that looks good and fancy, a car that you bought with your hard-earned money, then these people just feel entitled to your money, and they call themselves also, they feel entitled to the fact that you're applying that way. I don't know what you would call them. Is there, normally in Lagos, we have something called Omonile. I don't know what you call these ones. Are they Omo? I don't know. But it's actually become a problem. So really, they must look into it. We'll see some of the reactions to this conversation on social media real quick and see how Nigerians and Lagosians are reacting to this story. Osaware says it's so disgusting seeing adults shouting like kids, running out after your cars, It poses a security risk. So they sometimes come to your windshield, look at the passengers. It has to stop, honestly. It does have to stop. Official net said, I'm not saying that what they're doing is right, but I don't think they should be the problem of Lagos State government. Their concern should be on easing the flow of traffic, because if there's less traffic jams, these men won't have the opportunity to spot these vehicles. I think it's not either or, it's all, it's both. Christopher O'Banion says, these are the people your superiors use for political talks after they've brought them into the different state for elections. After elections, they won't send them back to their states, but they will abandon them on the street of Lagos. And what do you expect? Men want to hustle in Lagos. That's a very good angle. Easy Lion says the best way to stop street begging or whatever it is to start arresting and jailing the people who give to the beggars. When there is no giver, there won't be beggars. When giving alms to beggars and touts become a crime, that nonsense will end. Well, that's an angle, but at the same time, do you know what happens when this... truthfully, there are some people that honestly don't want to aid and abet this rubbish. But I've seen what they do to them sometimes. They bash their car, they damage their side mirrors, they break their windshields, they just try sometimes they even want to arm the individual, because we saw the other day the DJ Salt of Life, which happens to be Ira Star's sister, posted on social media talking about the fact that they thought she was Ira Star and they were all over her car asking for money, and she couldn't give them any money and they destroyed her vehicle. So that's also something. But first things first, they must find these people jobs. Second thing is, as that man said, working on easing the flow of traffic. But there's also an angle to that, because we see those car spotters around Lekki Koiling Bridge. Even when the car is speeding, they're like, yes, what's that thing? They say G-Wagon. They do all sort of things, even when the car is on speed. So yeah, there's that. But two things, they must find jobs for these people. They need to get all these guys off the streets. Number two, they can't possibly arrest the people who are giving money, but they need to make sure that at least we have the traffic along that corridor is eased. Maybe that will also help. Yes, those are my 2 cents on this story. To our next conversation today, Pastor Olabanjo Felix Gold of the Image of God Evangelical and Prophetic Ministries has announced his conversion from Christianity to Isheshe, which is the Yoruba traditional religious practice, saying his spiritual journey ultimately led him to embrace Ifa worship. Interesting. Now, in the video shared online, the cleric expressed gratitude to Ifa and acknowledged the spiritual elders he said had guided him throughout his transition to the traditional faith. Let's take a look at the video.
Èmi Pastor Olabanjo Felix Gold tó jẹ́ olùdásílẹ̀ Image of God Evangelical and Prophetic Ministry tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n tí ó wá ti di ìfáwámírí àwòrán Olódùmarè babaláwo onífá. Mo fi àsìkò yìí dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá mi, olúwo mi, bàbá Ìfòwàpẹ́, Olúṣẹ́gun Ọlátúnjí, tí wọ́n jẹ́ àràbà ti Ìsárarẹ́mọ. Mo tún dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọmọ méjèèjì tí wọ́n ń tọ́ mi sọ́nà, Ìfáṣẹ́gun, Ìfáwálé. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ìfátósìn Àrígbẹ̀dẹ̀ Àṣàwò ti ìlú Ìsárarẹ́mọ náà. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo àwọn ọmọ pátápátá tí mo bá ní ìbí tí wọ́n dẹ̀ gbà mí tọwọ́ tẹsẹ̀. Mo ní kí n fi àsìkò yìí sọ fún wa wípé àwọn ẹ̀sìn wọ̀nyí, ẹ̀sìn àjòjì wọ̀nyí, wọ́n tàn wá ní o. Ìṣẹ̀ǹṣe ni àgbà. Pé ìwọ náà tí o fẹ́ wọgbódù, o fẹ́ tẹ̀fá, o fẹ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ irúnmọlẹ̀.
Wow. What I would say is that's such a very interesting conversion, a very deeply personal conversion, and I'm sure that he had like he said, there was a journey to him getting there. So I wish him all the best in this new venture. Let's see some of the reactions to this conversation on social media. For Isheshe being Nigeria's traditional religion and moving from Christianity to that's okay. Fortune says it's better than 99.9% of pastors because most pastors still visit babalawos for their own spiritual solution. Let's see more reactions. Daniel Rega said Christianity and paganism are exact opposite. And while it's not in your place to judge another over their religious preference, saying that you renounce Christianity to become a traditionalist gives the impression that you were never a true believer to begin with, especially if the person was a pastor. That's an angle. Let's see more reactions. Big M says, believe it or not, God didn't call most of the Nigerian pastors as they claim. Most of them just venture into the ministry as means of survival, and how lucrative having a church with hundreds of followers is. That's a very brilliant angle too. If you're not called, you have no business pastoring. You have no business being an imam. You have no business doing all of this. Can you just worship as you want to and stop giving yourself titles? That's how I see it. But Idiaro says, someone that can separate soteriology from pneumatology, you call a pastor. The majority of these Nigerian Pentecostal pastors, just like Tonto Dike, are business people who are driven by money, not salvation. And even the Holy Book says you can't serve God and mammon. I'm going to leave it at that and move on to our final conversation today. A Nigerian woman who confronted an elderly man after he was allegedly caught harassing her on a commercial bus. Now, in a video which circulated online, the man was seen rubbing the woman's thighs while they were traveling on the bus. She eventually confronted him, expressing her anger and demanding that he stop this inappropriate behavior. Now, the situation quickly became heated as the woman challenged the elderly passenger over his actions. However, amid the confrontation, another passenger reportedly urged her to let the matter go. How ridiculous is this?
Nonsense. I thought this is father. My father my father no fit do that kind this kind thing. I'm saying my father don't die safe. I said don't enter this car. Now you don't do am. I don't say look at me. Because I wear bomb shots for night. It's because it's the night. Now that's why I know it's today. It's because it's the night. Let me see. It's bomb shot I wear. Wow. Let me see. The video, Baba go meet yourself for TikTok. May no worry.
People need to learn to respect themselves, respect other people, and learn to put whatever urges they have in control. Because, I mean, she doesn't even have any, she shouldn't even be apologizing for putting on a bomb shot. She put on a bomb shot, whether in the afternoon or at night. Does that give him the reason to be rubbing her thighs? As what? Who is he? Like in a bus, in a public, in wherever it is, like it's just unheard of. Why is he doing that? Like, we see so many sexual perverts moving around every day, and honestly, as much as possible, I think that these people they need to start arresting these people, because look at she's even saying because I wore this at night. No, it's not a matter of because you wore it at night. Whether you wore it in the afternoon or whether you wore it in the morning, he does not have any right to do that. Why is he doing that? Well, that's literally supposed to be somebody's dad or even somebody's grandfather. So she has done the right thing by taking it on TikTok, because if they're not going to do this situation, that's the only place where she can get the what's it called that she needs right now, the justice. Because how? If she didn't film it and she said it, people would say she was lying. That's what they're gonna go. How did that happen? And I hate that people have to now start coming and saying, "Oh, because I wore this thing at night." Whether you wore it in the morning or in the afternoon or in the midnight, it doesn't give anybody the right to do that, whether man or woman. Why are you harassing her? It's just offensive. Like no, this is really upsetting. This is really upsetting. And we see so many perverts moving like this every day around us. They are around us. They are around us. That's the annoying thing. Well, let's see some of the reactions on social media to this conversation and see how Nigerians are reacting. St. Vincent says, this thing is so real. That's why I would always advise women to work with pepper sprays and learn the self-defense, because what some men do outside, they mold me as a man. I have seen a lot of nonsense on public transport, And honestly, men should do better. This is not welcome. I agree. Acheme Husseini says, I think she had every right to speak up. Nobody should be touched without their consent, regardless of age. Exactly. The truth says this is the kind of man you'll be genuinely worried about leaving around his grandchildren or other people's kids. And I'm happy that she did that video, so at least we can put a face to such a man. When someone has spent years without self-control or boundaries, old age doesn't magically erase those behaviors. Exactly. And self-control is key. Kizito says, we are our own problem. Imagine another man there saying, lock up. What do you mean, lock up? He says, don't worry, your daughter has to be the next to be humiliated like this, and they will also tell her to lock up. Exactly. And then maybe that's when you wouldn't understand. But things like this need to change. And just like the third commenter said, boundaries, if you don't learn boundaries and self-control and from an early age, it will go with you to even old age, and there's nothing that can be done about it. You might find yourself in situations like this and you'll be embarrassed in public, because then if you put out that video in public, someone say, oh, it could have not been any, that's the wrong thing. That's wrong. Why are you harassing someone? Why are you touching someone indiscriminately? It's wrong. But we'll leave the conversation there this morning on social listening segment. Those are some of the stories making the rounds on social media. We continue next week, same time. My name is Elizabeth Musa. Stay safe.
Looking for fast and reliable answers to your business and economic questions? Meet SIA, Business Day's Strategic Intelligence Assistant, Nigeria's first AI-powered news chatbot. Simply visit businessday.ng, click the SIA chat icon, and ask your question in plain language. Whether it's inflation, market trends, company insights, government policies, or personal finance, SIA delivers instant answers powered by Business Day's trusted journalism. Smarter insights, faster decisions. Visit businessday.ng today and discover the future of business intelligence with SIA.
Every legacy has a beginning. Ours evolved. Built on trust and carried forward as a second-generation family legacy, Bemio has grown into Nigeria's largest cash-in-transit provider, trusted where precision and reliability matter most. But we are more than movement. We deliver protection at every level, from professional guarding to journey management to concierge services. And through Bemio Polo, we reflect the identity, heritage, and standards we uphold. This is more than service. This is a legacy in motion. Bemio, your partner to safer living.
Nigeria, a land of boundless energy, driven by the pulse of over 200 million dreams. At the heart of this momentum stands a giant, Seplat Energy, an indigenous powerhouse accounting for a vital share of Nigeria's oil and gas output, propelled by the historic acquisition milestone with the acquisition of ExxonMobil's onshore and shallow water assets, significantly expanding its production capacity and marking its entry into offshore operations. We are the engine of prosperity, Nigeria's leading domestic gas supplier with a total gas production output of 2.7 billion cubic feet, and the landmark Ano gas project delivering first gas. We have elevated our total processed gas output to 855 million standard cubic feet per day onshore. Indeed, we have brought domestic gas utilization to new heights, powering industries and securing energy for millions. But we are not just growing production, we're growing responsibly. By ending routine flares, we are decarbonizing our operations today to protect the Nigeria of tomorrow. Our reach is expanding. From offshore gas distribution to the growth of CNG for transport and industry, we are deepening our presence across the entire value chain. Our impact reaches the grassroots. Through innovative mini-grid projects, we are bringing clean, reliable energy to local communities, fueling economic empowerment where it's needed most. We are more than an energy company. We are a partner in progress, a leader in the energy transition, a giant rooted in Nigeria for Nigeria. Seplat Energy, leading Nigeria's energy transition, powering the future.
At Providus Bank, we're committed to your growth and success. You're never alone on the journey. Our personalized relationship banking is how we do things together. It's what sets us apart. We value every individual and partnership and treat them as such. We're committed to helping you grow and celebrating your success. This is your life story, your future, your forward. This is all about you. Let's move you forward. Providus Bank.
Looking for fast and reliable answers to your business and economic questions? Meet SIA, Business Day's Strategic Intelligence Assistant, Nigeria's first AI-powered news chatbot. Simply visit businessday.ng, click the SIA chat icon, and ask your question in plain language. Whether it's inflation, market trends, company insights, government policies, or personal finance, SIA delivers instant answers powered by Business Day's trusted journalism. Smarter insights, faster decisions. Visit businessday.ng today and discover the future of business intelligence with SIA.
Attention business leaders. Want to make informed decisions? Join the ranks of the best with Premium Business Day. Access in-depth analysis and expert opinions to stay ahead. Subscribe now at premium.businessday.ng and unlock premium content. Plus, you get 50% off your first subscription. Don't miss out. Make smarter choices and seize new opportunities. Sign up now and elevate your business game. Visit premium.businessday.ng today.
4 years after Nigeria replaced the old National Health Insurance Scheme with the National Health Insurance Authority, the country is seeing real movement in health insurance coverage. Enrollment has risen sharply, provider payments have increased, and the NHIA now has stronger regulatory powers under the 2022 Act. The authority's programs are also designed to cover people outside the formal workforce, including self-employed Nigerians and vulnerable groups. But there is a problem at the heart of this progress. For many Nigerians in the informal economy, insurance is still something they have to pay for directly. And when premiums rise, coverage can quickly become unaffordable. That raises a bigger question about reform. Can Nigeria expand health insurance without pricing the very people who need financial protection most out of the system? The NHIA Act made participation mandatory and created the Vulnerable Group Fund to support people who cannot afford premiums. But the real test is whether those provisions are translating into coverage on the ground. Well, this afternoon on Behind the Headlines, where we go beyond the headlines to discuss some of the stories written on the Business Day newspaper, I'm joined by assistant editor here at Business Day, assistant editor for the company's economy and market, Dr. Oluwatobi Oja-Bello. He joins me behind the headlines today as we discuss this conversation and so much more. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Oja-Bello.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's good to have you here today. I mean, it's been like a short break. There's been a short break and then we're back. So it's good to see you today. Let's talk about this headline finding, really. Okay. What prompted you, because you're the writer of this story,
of course,
what prompted you to conclude that the health insurance is expanding but the poor are still being left behind?
Thank you very much. So I look at the comparative analysis of NHIA's percentage they covered. So because it was established in 1999, launched in 2005. And I look at what has NHIA achieved. NHIS would NHIA achieve. I noticed that less than 5% in 20 years. Then over 22 million. I was not asking myself, who are those people in that 22 million that NHIA said they have covered? And I realized that an average Nigeria, those people work in informal sector who did not have formal sector support like the way we have in business day. So when I look at those people, what is happening to them? So I realized that over 63% of Nigerians are still poor. They cannot afford to pay the increment in the rate. So that is what that led me to the, okay, although there's an expansion compared to former, but the bottom line has failed to reach the poor.
Now, you wrote the story of the Kano tailor, which is quite revealing. How significant is the affordability problem for the traders, for the artisans, and all the self-employed Nigerians?
Technically, when you look at the cost of living now in Nigeria, it is more than double compared to where we are coming from in 2003, 2004. You get it is more than double now, basically because of the reform, the subsidy removal and the unification. So when we look at the increment from 22 to 38, and these people still face the transportation fare shock. These people just face the food shock automatically. So an increase, even a modest increase in price of such commodity have significant impact on their welfare. So a lot of them will just, if after all, there's orthodox medicine that I can use, why will I be wasting my time? That is when they will remember that even I've not been to hospital in the last 7 months. So why am I paying 76% increase in the rate? So it's very significant to those people.
Right. And we also see that the NHIA Act created the Vulnerable Group Fund, which is specifically for the Nigerians who cannot afford premium. So what has happened to that mechanism in practice? Sincerely,
when they say they make provisions, you can make provisions, but the provision reach those people you made it for. So if they make provision truly, they are still in 22 million. Although they have a benchmark, according to Isiaq Salako, who is the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare. He said they are looking up to 2030 that they will be able to cover like 44 million people, but now they are halfway, 22 million. Well, out of the 22 million, how many informal are there? What is the number of the vulnerable that are there? So when you still look at the 22 million to Nigerian population, it's less than 10%.
But if the poorest Nigerians cannot afford contributory insurance, now, should the government be putting substantially more public money behind subsidized coverage?
So can you repeat that question?
I mean, I said if the poorest Nigerians cannot afford contributory insurance, so should we be seeing the government putting substantially more public, more money behind the subsidized coverage?
Exactly. You see, according to multidimensional poverty index, poverty is not only measured by food again. It is food, health, and education. But unfortunately, out-of-pocket payment in this, considering this reform, is 71 to 76%. So people still over 71 to 76% of the health spending in Nigeria still come from out-of-pocket. And the poor, what are the poor? What are they going to benefit from the government? Can government give them food? No. The only thing they want, subsidize all these things for us. According to World Bank data, and according to World Bank data, an average there is a statistics to know those people that are poorest, people that cannot survive with that spend less than $2 per day. Someone that spends less than $2 per day, and you want the person to contribute for insurance, it's not possible. So what government should do more is to intensify by increasing their budget allocation to that sector, so that the poorest Nigeria will be able to benefit from this.
Right. Are we also seeing sort of like a problem with the quality of coverage?
Yes. You see, in terms of coverage, I will tell you, compared to NHIAs, where they are coming from, they have tried. But it's still not significant.
Okay.
If you look at what Isiaq said, he said by 2030, the coverage level will be 44 million. And presently, they are on 22 million. And which shows year-on-year increment of 35%, according to Kelechi Oyeri, the Director General of NHIA. Good statistical measure. Are we together? But the question, by 2030, are you assuming that the population of Nigeria will be constant? By 2030, Nigerian population growth rate is 2.1 million. So if you multiply 2.1%, if you multiply 2.1% to the current population of Nigeria, you have 5,040,000. So if you multiply 5,040,000 times 4, you will get something over 20 million. Meaning that by 2030, Nigeria will have added over 20 million to the population. And they are still targeting 44 million by 2030. Meaning that at the end of the day, considering the Nigerian population by 2030, the coverage level will reduce more than today. So meaning that they should not look at the numbers of enrollment, they should look at the percentage to the population. That will show the clarity of their coverage level. But compared to NHIs, they have tried.
Okay.
But it's not sufficient.
It's not sufficient.
Yeah.
But we also know that the law actually makes health insurance mandatory.
Exactly.
But the question now that many people want to know is how effective that mandate can be when the enforcement machinery at the state level, the local level remains weak. How do we work around that?
It is very simple. There's an act. So what they need to do, they should look at the payroll of companies.
Okay.
So through the payroll, PYE of company, they can see those people who are not enrolling their staffs and they penalize them. So when they check the PYE and payee, so from the payee they will know. So from that, government can say, okay, if your payee is showing 100 stars, so and your record is showing you only register 20 people, what happens to the 80 people? You should be able to justify it. So they should be penalized for that.
Okay. Penalties must be in place. Now, we also see that out-of-pocket spending remains extremely high.
Extremely high.
Extremely high. I mean, you find that even when you have health insurance, you find yourself still paying out of pocket because when you go to the hospital, there are delays here, or if there's no delay, they tell you this is not covered and all of that. Would you say that should be the most important measure of whether this reform is actually working?
I will not say it should be the most, but it's a factor. It's a factor. You see, in terms of accessibility to health program, there is always categories. But on average, the least category should be able to take care, to be able to survive the lives of people. Even if the person, the category the person falls is far below the amount the person is paying. You get it? This is where supplementary budget have to look into. Someone that is selling akara, where the total stock, everything she has is 13,000 naira. But fortunately, she still prioritizes her health and the health of her family. She now engage in what we call gift-ship. Have you ever heard gift-ship?
No.
That is group, individual, family, social health insurance program.
Okay.
So if you have family of
Gift-ship.
two, gift-ship, you can do that, you can pay. Now, someone that is earning 30,000 naira doing to sell akara or 40,000 naira. Now, she prioritizes her health. She now struggle to save certain amount of money and enroll. Unfortunately, one of her son has heart attack. And the category she enrolled for is just to treat malaria, give them maybe paracetamol or some other small just to make them energetic. So as soon as heart attack, you are not saying because she failed to fail for that category, you will not attend. You have lost one of the future of Nigeria. So that is where supplementary budget have to come. Such government should aid at that point. When they aid, we record those data. There should be a data for those people who don't have the ability to pay more, but government take care of them even with the mega they are making.
But speaking about the government actually wants 44 million Nigerians enrolled by 2030.
By 2040.
Now,
by 2030.
2030, yes. No, so given where we are today, is that a realistic target?
That's why I said now.
Is it?
It is not realistic.
Okay.
You know, you just like we are doing a competition. Sorry, we are doing a competition, a sleeping competition with a blind man. That is why I say they have tried in terms of coverage. They have tried in terms of coverage because NHIS has less than 5% coverage in 20 years. It's not that their own coverage too is significant.
So what should happen differently with the informal sector?
And what should happen differently in the informal sector? They need to get data, and there should be more awareness. There should be more awareness. Mama put, why are you wasting your money going to this hospital? Fill this form, you will enjoy health free. Fill this form, let them come first. You know, it's not everybody that goes to mall that buy from the mall.
You're right.
Do you get it? Some people go to the mall just to do window shopping. So let these people come first. Let's see the number of people that are outside. So when we see the number of people that are outside, they come free. Give them from, let them feel. So when they come, we see the number of people. Wow, this people outside. The government has this plan. You cannot plan for the number of people you don't know now. You cannot determine, you cannot project even government expenditure to subsidize health when you don't know the number of people that are outside. You have to drag them in. I give you them phone. Don't waste your money. You need fancy. It is free. Even there should be a mobile healthcare center. Although according to Kelechi, the Director General, so they said they'll be able to cover over 7,500 health care entities, which is a good one, but it's still not sufficient.
Right. So, I mean, you've said a number of things from the start up until now. Now, if you had to identify one major weakness of this NHIA reform today, what's that? I just need you to mention one.
Awareness to the informal sector.
Okay.
It's awareness. Create more awareness and let them see what they are going to benefit registering with them. Don't introduce they have to pay. They have not eaten. These people are struggling to eat. You are telling them they should come and pay. Don't tell them they will pay. Tell them they will enjoy it for free. You have to counsel them to change their mindset. They will tell you health is wealth. It is only when you have eaten. You will know it is. Someone that has not eaten. Even if you get to the hospital, they ask you to take paracetamol. Isn't it? I take paracetamol. Before they ask you to take paracetamol, they will ask you, have you what? Have you eaten? There was a story a pastor told me. He said he was in a program preaching. All of a sudden, the man fell down. So other pastors now took that man to a particular a sectional part of the church. They started praying. He said when he preached after 1 hour, he did not see other pastors. Where are the people? So they are still praying. That man that fell, what happened? We got there. Wait, stop. We have been praying for 2 hours. Nothing has changed. I said, stop. Gentlemen, have you eaten? He said, give him food. They gave the man food. He's okay.
Can you? Wow, that's actually interesting, really, because sometimes it's, I mean, just like you've said, awareness. But 4 years into this act, I'm sure with everything you said, clearly, I was going to ask you if you described it as a reform, as a success or not. But let me hear your thoughts.
To me, it's partial. It's a partial success compared to where we are coming from. You have to recognize the good they've done. Don't just come here and be critiquing. Now, what have they done good so that they can improve on the good they are doing? Identify the gaps. So one of the gaps is they should not be looking forward to be increasing the rate because of the informal and already in the system. And they should create more awareness and let the informal knows what they are going to benefit. Let's go to that market there. Go and tell the NHI, they say what you they don't understand. And these are the people that over 90% of Nigerian laborers work in that sector.
Right.
So what I'm not saying.
Wow, thank you very much, Dr. Oluwatobi Ojabelo, Assistant Editor here at BusinessDay. Thank you so much for joining us behind the headlines today. This is where we'll leave it behind the headlines. We hope you join us tomorrow. My name remains Elizabeth Musa. Stay safe.
Thank you.
I am, of course, a great admirer of the impeccable credibility, professionalism, and business savviness of Business Day. If you really mean business in Nigeria, start your day with Business Day.
Business Day is West Africa's leading provider of business intelligence and information, delivering premium content across diversified media platforms, including online, mobile, and print. Since its inception in 2001 with a weekly newspaper production, Business Day has expanded its reach to provide exclusive content accessible through print, mobile, and online channels. At Business Day, our mission is clear: to be the foremost provider of business and financial content, empowering readers to make informed decisions in Nigeria and Africa. Since our establishment, we have been committed to delivering insightful, relevant, and accurate information about Nigeria's business and finance environment, while contextualizing the impact of global events. We monitor the stock market, analyze the companies driving it, and report on government policies and their economic implications. From decoding market trends to dissecting economic shifts, we offer actionable investment ideas and serve as a compass for decision-makers navigating complexity. Beyond headlines, Business Day fosters discussions on critical economic issues through impactful conferences and events. These platforms bring industry leaders together to share narratives that drive innovation and spark meaningful dialogues. Our events galvanize connections, bridging the gap between inspiration and achievement. For businesses seeking visibility, our strong digital presence offers unparalleled opportunities, with millions of followers across social media and a dynamic website attracting visitors from within and outside Nigeria. Business Day is the ideal platform to boost visibility for your products and services. If you're looking for in-depth analysis and expert opinions on Nigeria and Africa's business landscape, Business Day is your guide.
For 25 years, Business Day has delivered credible journalism, intelligent analysis, and decision-shaping insights to Nigeria and Africa's business community. Introducing Africa's first AI-integrated website, enhanced with powerful new capabilities. At the heart of the new platform is the AI-enabled chatbot, built to help you navigate stories faster, ask questions, get summaries, and access deeper context instantly. Text-to-speech functionality, allowing you to listen to articles on the go.
The Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos, has recorded an 11.8% growth in air traffic.
Whether you're commuting, driving, or multitasking, Business Day now moves with you. And with our new language translation feature, our journalism becomes even more accessible. You can select your preferred language, thereby expanding reach across diverse audiences in Nigeria, Africa, and beyond. This innovation reinforces our commitment to being not just a news platform, but also a smart, accessible, and future-ready business intelligence hub. As we celebrate 25 years of impact, we step confidently into the future, powered by technology, driven by credibility, and focused on you. Visit the new Business Day website today and experience the future of news.